Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode of the Pick a Side podcast. My name is Moran and I'm here with River Brown, Andrew Velez, and Joe Dehls. And it's now episode 238. In this episode, we are going to talk about Steph's shoulder injury, the Grizzlies win streak, revisit the Rudy Gobert trade, talk about the worst contracts in the NBA, teams that should sell at the deadline, Rob Williams' return, and the Magic. Episode 238, we are going live once again. Shout out to everybody in the chat currently. Appreciate you guys joining us. How are all you doing?
Good. I almost got a crazy picture of you, but I took a new one because you looked wild. I'm not gonna lie, Riv.
I'm doing pretty good, man. Can't complain.
Should have showed me.
How are you doing, Riff?
I'm good. I'm chilling. Had a nice little fun weekend.
What did you do this weekend? It's already Saturday.
Homework.
Oh, that was your fun weekend?
Yeah.
You see the Colts right now, they're doing damage.
Yeah, I hate to see it because I need Jettas to cook up, and bro only has 3 catches right now.
How many yards?
17. It's not what you want.
Jeff Saturday Colts are legit.
This is about to be their second win under him. What is he, 2-2?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
They beat the Raiders. They almost beat the Eagles, but they lost.
Mm-hmm.
Then they lost on prime time
The Steelers.
to the Steelers, correct. So that's 1-2. And then this was the next game, correct?
I believe so.
Jeff
2-2.
Saturday.
He wants the job long term.
He should get it, man.
They had a bye last week, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did have a bye. The Jeff Saturday Colts, man, these guys are legit. And some big time news before we head on to the topic list.
What's up?
We got Zach Wilson starting. on
We
Sunday.
do.
I can't
Oh
do it.
God.
We have him
Can't do
starting.
it.
The New York Jets, baby.
I'm tweeting out that we're live, but I definitely want to get your opinion on Zach Wilson. What are you expecting this week? What are you expecting tomorrow?
I'm not expecting anything, but it would be nice if he can throw for 200 plus yards and 2 touchdowns. We just saw how bad Minnesota's defense is right now, currently against the Colts, which is why I think people overrated Mike White's performance against them.
Honestly,
the
it's
Bills
not even
one
Matt
had a-
Ryan. It's been their special teams. They got a defensive touchdown. Like, it's not like Matt Ryan's been fine, but
Their defense is bad though. It's horrible.
Yeah,
it's
it is.
horrible.
It
But
is.
Mike White's performance against the Bills was good. I will say I think.
Matt Ryan has 124 yards on 10 completions.
Yeah, but they've been doing a lot of reverses on them and stuff like.
Oh yeah,
trick
they've gotten a lot
gadget
of weird
plays.
scores and stuff. The
Yes.
offense just hasn't
Yeah,
really had
but
to do much.
the point is that the Vikings defense is not good. It's
Oh
awful.
yeah, no, it's bad.
It's one of
I
the
don't
worst in the
disagree.
NFL. I think the Zach Wilson thing though, I think this is his last chance to show the fan base and the Jets organization that he can be the guy. He has to play very, very well. On the other end, I do think it is the situation he's in. He can win in it definitely, but he doesn't have the leeway of a Mike White where Zach can have great stats, but if we lose, I think that there's going to still be outrage versus when Mike White has lost these past couple of weeks, they all say he's played great and we've lost. It's not his fault.
I feel like I kind of disagree with that statement.
I think it's the opposite.
If Zach puts up some really good numbers, it looks good. You guys just lose a game to a hot Lions team.
Drew, what do you think? What do you think's more likely? Zach Wilson puts up great numbers and the Jets lose, or the Jets win and Zach puts up mediocre numbers?
Definitely the second.
If Zach Wilson's throwing for 300 yards and 2 touchdowns, I have a hard feel. How do we lose that game?
Because our defense is going to be bad without
Is
Quentin Williams.
When he's questionable.
Without Quentin Williams, the Jets are 32nd in EPA
Yes,
per play in the league.
The sample size is small.
Yes, but our defense is horrible without Quentin Williams.
It's a
He
small
makes our
sample
defense
size.
go. So if we don't have Quentin Williams, then our defense is going to be awful.
The team that's been pretty much dominant the entire season on defense. One player. That's it. You guys aren't going to play well.
He's a top 5 DPOY candidate.
He's been very good.
Yeah, Quentin Williams
Is he more of a
huge for us.
DPOY candidate than Sauce in your opinion?
Yeah.
Hey.
You don't think so, Dehls?
Then DPOY.
Who's more important to our defense, Sauce or Q?
I mean, they're both really
They
important.
are both important.
Quentin, yeah. I mean, Quentin has 11 sacks as an interior defensive lineman this
And he's
season.
an elite run stopper.
Yeah, he
So
is. You can make the case Sauce has been arguably the best corner in the game. So, you know what I mean? You could really go either way with it. I'm not going to be mad.
That's impressive.
We got
But
two of them.
But the sample size is 90 snaps, but in those 90 snaps, we have been one of the worst defenses in the league when Quentin Williams has not been on the field. And the Lions are red hot. Mike White got to face a crumbling Vikings team and lost. and the Bills, Josh Allen's still injured. Zach's facing Jared Goff.
He is.
This guy's on fire right
Jared
now.
Goff is on fire.
Jared Goff is doing what Tua did early in the season. Everything is open right now.
For sure.
For Jared Goff. He's making high-level throws. The defense is playing better.
Saw
Man.
Jameson get more involved his second week back. Now his third week
got a
back.
touchdown.
Amon Ra and the boys. Swift's been off the injury report for a couple weeks. We know the offense has been humming. It's their defense, which has been playing better as of late, but still.
Teams that haven't been there.
Exactly. Their offenses that they've been playing aren't great. And we saw them play the Vikings. Kirk Cousins had a great game. But it was just funny, our different reactions when Mike White gets ruled out and Zach Wilson's in. That tweet that I forgot who put it out said the duality of men or something like that. I said, oh
That
my
shit was
God.
hilarious.
And
I'm
you said,
excited.
"Zach."
I want to see
He
what
FaceTimed me right away, of course. Right when the news broke, I texted him. I was like, you got your wish, bro. And he FaceTimes me, him cheesing hard as hell, laughing, giggling, like, Zach, he's getting his chance. And I'm like, all right, let's see what he got.
that. Seeing a young quarterback get his chance moves me more than a 27-year-old that I don't know what the future is. I am more excited for Zach because if he plays bad, then okay, it's over. But if he plays well, there's hope. There's hope
There is.
within the Jets organization.
Yeah, but he has to play well for multiple games. If he does it just one game, you're not going to convince me that Zach is back and he's the franchise
Yeah,
again.
but what if he wins this game and then in the playoff, he leads us to the playoffs because of him? That
he has
there's
a chance. Listen, he has his chance.
the Cinderella story, man. Zach,
It is. It's
Zach
been
Wilson.
a wild season for the Jets. And honestly, it's only been a wild season because they're good. If we were bad, it wouldn't be that interesting.
Did you hear about Did you hear his answer and when the reporters asked him how does it feel to be back?
Yeah, I did. He looked giddy. Like he was.
Have you ever
looked
seen
like
another man that happy
No,
outside
he
of
looked like-
Joel?
He,
that
he
another
was
man
like
got hurt?
he was like I'm just gonna go out there and play my game.
He looked like a
I'm
kid
gonna
in
let
candy
it
shop,
all
bro.
out on the line.
He was. Yeah, he looked ecstatic, and he has to be. He probably didn't think he was gonna get another opportunity this season the way Mike White is playing. So like all of a sudden, we thought he was playing. Mike White said, "There's no chance I don't play this game." So I thought it was set that it's gonna be Mike. Riv, you don't want to talk about the Jets, bro?
Nah.
No,
Y'all do this shit every week.
bro. It's been
We
it's
damn
been
near
a crazy.
Jets show at this point.
I get
We
pulled
really
into
are.
it. I have no choice
It's
but to comment.
it's our intro, bro. It's our intro.
It is our intro.
This is the last chance Zach gets. So hopefully, if he's great, you guys can stop arguing about this shit.
Are you
If
tired
he's
about
bad,
Jets talk or Zach Wilson
Just
talk?
Zach talk.
Yeah,
if
I'm
he's
tired of
bad,
Zach
he's
Wilson.
gone,
I'm
and then
tired
that's
of
just
hearing
we can be done with it. Hopefully, this is last week though. I can't
Yeah.
take
But how
this shit.
ironic that the game that I got tickets to, front row.
This could
Zach
be a
is the
masterclass for
starter.
you. This could very.
I
well
actually
be a
don't know if I want to
masterclass.
go to the game. I'll be honest.
Oh really?
I just don't like going to football games in general. I'd rather
It's gonna
watch
be
it
cold.
at my house.
Yeah.
So that's one. And I don't want to go and then Zach is bad and the Jets
Like that
lose.
last time we was at the Miami game.
Yeah, it wasn't
Oh,
cold.
the Patriots game.
Oh, it was a Patriots game.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you was cooked. You was sitting there cooked. Boy, I tell you.
He was at the Dolphins game. He played well.
He was geeked
made
up.
some
The
high-level
duality
throws.
of men for real. Because the next game, Patriots game, geeked up and they're just sitting there, misery.
Yeah.
I get it though.
No, it's funny that the comment section's talking about Dillon Brooks being top 50. We're all talking about the
Yeah, I
Jets.
ignored the shit out of
Yeah,
that.
they're
Top
just
50 is
not
nuts.
even
I remember I
paying
went to the
He's been amazing defensively.
I went to the Bulls game with my boy, Bulls in Philly. Boy, I tell you, that was the worst 40 minutes of my life. We were getting our ass cracked on, bro. So bad. Some dude
Yo,
was
you
talking,
guys have been down bad recently, man.
blow it up.
I
Bro.
saw your tweet.
It's about
I mean,
time.
losing back-to-back
Both
times
to
to the
the
Knicks.
Knicks.
That's
The first game
just about
pissed
as
me
bad
the
as it
fuck
gets.
Not
Nah,
surprised.
the first
Nah,
was a
that
first was a
a
fold.
oof.
Y'all easily should have won that
The
game.
first
Yeah, the
one
second one,
pissed
y'all
me
just
off.
never had a
Second one, I
chance.
stopped
Second
watching.
one, yeah.
But the
What are
first
you
one
gonna do?
pissed me off so bad. I was like,
Yeah.
fuck.
And
That's 'cause
the Brunson at
Chicago-
the end is just the icing on the wall.
Yeah. I was
Chicago
like,
can't handle that Grimes defense.
you haven't watched the
You
single
packing
next
on the
game.
Knicks?
No, I have watched them. I watched them recently. They're winning
Just,
now.
just
I'm
last
watching
week.
them.
You literally.
We were on the
just
playback.
said-
He's like, I don't watch the Knicks.
You literally just said that.
Yeah, but now they've been winning. I've been watching.
That's sick.
I'm
That's
watching
crazy.
them beat up on the Bulls. That Jalen Brunson crossover.
That
That
was-
crossover
that was
was
nice.
I
That
tweeted
was
about it.
crazy.
It was very elite.
Hanging on
Very
Brunson in the
elite.
offseason. Look what he's doing for the Knicks
I have any hate
franchise.
towards the Knicks.
right
I could
now.
care less about
He's
them.
playing like one of the better point guards in the league. That's what he's doing.
Also,
That's what he's doing. We got 3 players averaging 20 points. Brunson, RJ, and Randall. Put some respect
RJ
on our
has the
big three.
nastiest 20 points in the NBA right now.
You'll take it.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
it is what it
hilarious.
is.
He's been playing better recently.
But
Yeah.
man,
He's been playing better
in the
recently.
offseason. Yeah, Levine, DeMar, Vucevic, they're better.
They are better.
Y'all are mid, man.
No, DeMar's
Y'all-
better.
y'all
Wait,
are-
hold on. That's what we're not gonna do. What we're not gonna do is we can
DeMar's
say-
better than who?
No, we
Randall
can say
this
we can
year?
say the team is ass.
Randall's playing
We
great.
can say the team is ass.
He's averaging
What we're
27
not
and
gonna do
11.
is act like DeMar's a bum. DeMar ain't no bum.
No, yeah, but you're wasting him. It's a shame.
No, I tweeted that.
In
should-
LA.
yeah, you should trade him.
Let's work something out.
You have
You should trade
nothing.
Bro,
I'd rather
we got
watch him
picks.
suffer. Than
That
get
27, 29 picks it's gonna be valid, bro. I'm telling you.
Sometimes
You
you
talking about
have
that,
better
James?
talent, but the players don't mesh better.
No, facts.
You look at RJ, Brunson, and Randall right now.
Backing on RJ now.
I'm not backing on RJ. I like Brunson's my guy. He's
No, I
been
know
my
that.
guy. And I got a
Definitely.
Julius Randle jersey. I own one. I bought one. Statement edition.
Julius is your guy
Randle
again.
jersey. Julius Randle. With Knicks fans.
Yo, bro,
Julius,
you bought that shirt?
What shirt?
The shirt you got on right now.
He's had it for a little while.
I've been
Yeah,
had
for a
this.
You
minute.
did?
He wore
Yeah.
it too.
My
something.
shit just came in the mail. I thought you didn't have it, so I bought it.
You're swag jacking. That's
Damn.
what it is.
I'm never
I have it
wearing
on my
I'm
Instagram.
gonna sell it.
Yeah, you wore it to some shit.
How
I
much
think it might have been
yeah.
a birthday
How
or
much you
something.
You don't fit me, unfortunately.
Okay.
You're probably like a large.
What size?
I'm a medium.
Mm.
If you said small, then I would have cracked up, but
Yeah.
maybe I could fit a medium.
No, I'm a medium.
Medium is fitting on me
small
like
is too
I
tight
am
on
the
my
biggest
shoulders.
human being in the
Small
world.
is too tight up here. I can't do it.
But the small fits you everywhere else.
No, yeah. It's feel
Nice. Got his ass.
Like, I love it. That means I got a slim waist. But
You
up here,
snatched.
too awk up
Yeah.
here. You know what I'm saying? So I can't.
Make you feel good about yourself
No,
though.
it does. 'Cause my shoulders is really broad. So
Yeah.
it's like
Okay. Got a nice, yeah, you got a nice frame too, for sure.
you do too.
Appreciate that.
I do send my condolences to you and Bulls fans out there.
No, I'm good.
You know,
That tweet was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was the
Hilarious.
last fucking
Trade
straw.
DeMar, fire Donovan, trade Caruso.
We're getting smacked by the Knicks. That's what I'm like the first game, I wasn't mad.
Knicks been playing good
Yeah,
basketball though.
But I wasn't mad. If we're a close game and we lose, I won't get mad. Like it was a great game. We lost. I wasn't mad. I was like, all right, you know, you take those. We're getting blown the fuck out at home. I was like, yeah.
Not much you can do about that.
it's
and I'll
time
tell you one thing: the smart thing for the Bulls to do would be to tank and trade your players, of course, because the Magic on your first round pick, and it's top 4 protected. So unless you get into the top 4, you're not gonna get your pick.
Apparently, John told me we have a 52% chance to get the top 4 pick.
52?
Yeah, John told me that, and I believe
Damn,
John 100%.
52?
If we finish the top 4, yes.
You finish
52%
top
chance,
4. Yeah.
and we are close to the 4. So I say,
Okay. Yeah.
blow it
just
up.
blow
Give
it
me
up.
whoever the 4. Scoot, Amen, Wemby. We get it. Wemby.
Good year to be terrible.
Thompson twins. You want one of those or no?
Yeah, give
All
me
right.
anybody at the top 4. I'm cool with it. I say trade everybody though. I said blow it up 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
So
I think it's only right for them to do. You know,
No,
you're
facts,
mid.
yeah.
You're not going anywhere.
You really don't want anything that the Lakers.
You don't want Lonnie Walker, bro?
he's
Nice. Exciting.
Yo,
Real.
He's like $1
real.
million,
Nah,
bro.
nah.
I don't know.
It's
Yeah.
a contract friendly.
You give us
type of
what's
guy
your-
right
you-
there.
Yeah,
he's
but you're
gonna-
gonna have to match that.
You don't want
Lamar's
Pat
getting a
Bev?
bag.
Fuck no.
Nah,
Oh,
no.
hell.
They're gonna give us Westbrook.
I wouldn't do
the
you.
2027, 2029.
You
pick.
could take
Go
on
on
Max
Lonnie.
Christie.
Nah, he's
You
not for
watched him
sale.
play for 10 minutes to use like he's nice.
I know where he's went to.
Where he went
to
to?
Michigan State.
He barely played.
He is in college what he is right now in the NBA.
And what
a
is that?
spot up shooter.
Yep, that's what we need, man.
Incredible.
He's
Yeah,
not
well,
available.
He was a freshman,
Minnesota
one and
scored a
done.
touchdown. Who scored?
They did.
Test
KJ
my
Osborne.
knowledge, man.
Yeah,
I
Just
don't know
has
about
30
Max
yards.
Christie.
at this
30?
point,
30.
we'll talk about DeMar
Keep
later. Shout out to I did say in
You
that
too,
tweet
buddy.
though.
Yeah. No, for sure, for sure.
I did say in
I'm
that
saying,
tweet though, praise Lamar. I said give Lamar his flowers. He's been amazing. Love that guy. Mid-range demon.
DeMar?
Yeah, he's been
Oh, I
amazing.
thought you said
I thought you
Lamar.
said
You said
Lamar.
Lamar.
No,
Oh,
DeMar.
Got it, got it.
The rest
I
of
heard-
these
I heard
fuckers can
Lamar.
go. Like,
Levine's gone.
bye.
Come
Yeah.
on,
Caruso.
bro. Stop it.
Bye.
Stop it. All right, at least you respect him.
Pat Will, bye.
So
Vooch.
you'll miss Caruso.
I don't miss it. The only person I want to keep is IL. I keep my boy.
What's wrong with Caruso?
He's 30 something.
Send them back to us.
No, you have nothing. Stop
Bro.
asking for things you can't get. Like,
You're so greedy.
bro, you want DeMar?
Would love.
I'll send DeMar.
What you need, bro? I'm telling you that
You
27,
don't have
29.
anything.
That
bro.
27, 29.
Westbrook.
You give us DeMar. We'll hold Westbrook.
At this point, I just want picks. So
How you
yeah.
gonna have to pay for tomorrow, bro?
DeMar's
You're
on
right. He
2
has to
3 year
go.
deal.
No, I'm saying
I
like
know. The contract,
contract.
we're screwed.
His contract is a good contract.
It is.
Yeah.
What is it,
Very-
like 27 to 30
Yeah,
mil, something like that?
very good.
That means you have to
value
give us.
on that
You
deal.
have to get. Oh my! That's why they keep saying DeMar and Vooch because we got to give up. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Go help the LA win a chip. I could care
Oh,
less.
I would love that. Would love that. Make AD not have to play an entire half of basketball plus overtime. Put him in a
I'm so
position to.
confused.
Bro, did you not
He's
see the
coaching
Celtics games?
game.
Celtics
AD
versus
played
who?
the entire second
not
half
watch.
and
I really
overtime. Bro,
refrained
that
from watching
is one of the
Lakers
best games all
Bro, that was
season.
one of the
One of
best
the
regular
best games
season
all
games I've
season.
seen. Yeah,
Yo, for real, that game was unbelievable.
it was.
I was so sad that I stayed up for it because that next day I had to be
That's
up
when you
early
guys
and I
blew a
was,
lead,
I
didn't
was
you guys?
dead.
Yeah, and then
No,
they
and then
were
we
up,
blew a
like,
lead.
14 with.
And then we went
4
into
minutes.
overtime, and I should have gone to bed because I knew what was
Yo.
going to happen.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
the only
was
late games I
crazy.
watch are Clippers and Warriors.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Now that
Why not-
JT
bro, Lake Show is
fadeaway
must-watch
over Braun,
TV.
That was
bro.
good
I just don't
He
get
hit
peeled.
that.
You're
Oh
my
my
team.
I understand, but yo, we have been
I was-
playing exciting
Sometimes
basketball.
you
I
guys
was
are hit
floating
and miss.
when
I
he
can
hit
watch
that,
you guys
bro.
and it's really dog
Recently,
shit.
though, we've been great
Floating. I was so
to
happy.
watch, and
You
also
guys
great
have
on
been.
the court.
You guys been. Yeah, you
Yeah.
guys been a good team.
Yeah, no.
It's common knowledge, Riv, that you root for
7.
1/3 of the NBA.
That's not 1/3.
It's less.
We gotta
It's
stop
less
doing
now.
that. The
You
joke
can
is
cut
over.
it down.
1/3.
The joke is over.
You're
One
right.
of your
25%.
teams-
Is that 25%?
Yeah,
A little
just
bit.
about, just about, a little bit less.
Yeah, a little bit.
One of your teams, the Warriors, suffered a brutal loss. Steph Curry, shoulder injury,
This is like
He
your
won't
primary team. I feel.
require surgery, which means that, it's good for his recovery time, but he is going to miss a couple of weeks. We saw them play Philly without Curry. It was an okay game for the most part, but, Philly, they did what they usually do with Harden and Embiid in the lineup. They pulled away from the game. Jordan Poole had a good game.
Yes, he did.
So what are your thoughts on the Warriors moving forward without Steph Curry being in the lineup?
Well, I think just in totality of the season, you can chalk it up to one word: inconsistency. We're one of the best teams at home, one of the worst teams on the road. The starting five is literally one of the best starting fives in the league, and the bench is one of the worst benches in the league. Dog shit. Steph's going to be out. It's going to be tough. He was playing at an MVP level. He's playing like one of the best players in the world. You can see Father Time hasn't hit him yet. Jordan Poole starting. He has shown the ability to be a really good starter when he starts. Klay Thompson has been good his last 7-8 games. He's gotten it going. His shot selection for me has been more of the thing. He's stopped taking bad shots, and he's been taking just good shots trying to get in the groove. The defense has stepped up a little bit. Dante DiVincenzo had a really good game last game. I think the last 2 games, especially like when Steph Curry, you saw he was gassed against the Pacers. When he went out, you see the Golden State Warriors make a little rally, try to get back in the game towards the end. And then in the Philly game, you saw defensively how amazing they were against the Philadelphia Sixers. And then towards the end, you just saw offensively they couldn't keep up. That was a game also without Andrew Wiggins and Draymond Green. So I think if Draymond Green and Andrew Wiggins get back in the lineup, I think possibly that's a win in that mark. But just going forward, it's going to be tough because you lose. You can't just substitute 30 points on 50, 40, 90 shooting, no matter what team you are in the NBA.
It's one of the second best player.
It's the best shooter in the world. You can't just plug that in. But what you can do is make up for what he doesn't offer on the defensive end. You can lock in on the defensive end, make games close, make games small margins in scoring, and then offensively, you're going to need more from Klay. You're going to need more from Poole. You're going to need more from Andrew Wiggins. You're going to need to make that bench.
Involved.
That bench has to put in work. Kuminga has been well lately. Moody has to figure it out. You still need to make a move regardless. I still think this team is a move away from being back in that championship spot because you have the starting five, you have the core, you got Jordan Poole.
Is that
up
move
the
still
bench.
Jakob?
It can be. I think either a center or a switchable wing. I think a wing that can space the floor, guard 1 through 4, certain fives. I think that's something. Even 2 moves would be cool, but I think that one, because you got Poole and Kuminga, I think Kuminga certified a spot off the bench. I'm tired of seeing JaMychal Green. I'm tired of seeing Anthony Lamb. I truly am tired of seeing them play basketball. The starting five is firm, but I think right now, if you can hover around the 500 range, stay within a game or 2 over or under, and then Steph gets back, you then made a move to get somebody on that bench, I think you can cleanly be comfortable where you're at, run back in the table, get back in the playoffs. And for the Warriors, they just want to get in.
All right, so you mentioned it. A lot of things that Steph Curry brings to the table. This season, with Steph Curry on and off the court, there is a 20-point difference in offensive efficiency when he's not on the court. In terms of net rating, when he's on the court, of course, he's a +7. When he's off, it's a -11. And the 3-point efficiency, we're talking about the greatest shooter in the history of the game, it's a 7-point difference where when they're on the court, they're shooting 40%. When he's off, they're shooting 33%. Of course, that has to do with Steph Curry's gravity and the impact that he carries for the Golden State Warriors. But to go into a little bit of what you were saying, I feel like, yes, this is now time to hone in on defense where Steph kind of lacks, but that's not because of skill set. That's just due to ability because he's not the tallest of dudes. He's not the biggest of guys. But also another thing that I want to get involved is, you said it, Kuminga. Let's get Moody more involved. Maybe this might be an opportunity, which I highly doubt. James Wiseman, now maybe he starts to get involved in the offense a little bit. I feel like this now should be the Warriors' prime time where they're not playing the level of basketball that we saw anywhere near what we saw last year. Of course, the starting five is really good, but the rest of the team really is not up to par yet. This is their time to really lock in and hone in on their skill sets, start to learn how to play basketball without their saving grace right now, Steph Curry. You have guys like Kuminga who been inconsistent, but for the majority, he's been an okay ball player. Moses Moody also inconsistent. James Wiseman, more so bad than good so far. Andrew Wiggins has missed time. Draymond Green has missed some time. Poole has been the epitome of the word inconsistent, where more so I'm starting to not like his game because I feel like people start to overrate him too much, because the whole big story was that off the bench, he's not this great of a ball player, but in the starting lineup, he's great. that has to do with Steph Curry getting a majority of the attention. Now that Steph Curry isn't on the court, what can you do for me, Poole? He did have a great game last night, but for the future, can you remain consistent and be this ball player that everyone wants you to be, or everyone feels that you can be? So it's going to be an interesting test, especially for the fact that they are games under 500. They're in that same realm with my Lakers, so if you want to throw some disrespect to the Lakers, you got to throw some disrespect
Warriors.
to the Warriors as well. I'm just saying. But on a serious note, it's going to be very interesting to see how they start to get these younger guys involved.
I think whenever there's an injury, there's opportunity, right? And you guys have talked about the players who can step up or possibly make a move. But I think one thing you have to look at is just this is a chance for a lot of these players just to build some confidence. You know, Steph Curry, obviously, he gives you 30 a night. He's one of the best players in the world. But now you have some other guys that get some opportunity to score, to put up points, and just overall gain their confidence. Now, wouldn't say this is a necessary positive for the Warriors, even though you're getting some of these young guys more involved. Losing Curry is going to be huge. I mean, you've already lost 5 out of your last 6. That one win was against the Celtics, and especially for this Warriors team, which we have a decent sample size that shows us they are one of the worst road teams in the NBA. Seeding is going to be probably more important than we thought coming into the season, right? Coming in, we thought, okay, just get into the playoffs, we'll figure it out. But now you guys are barely a play-in team. So now if you're a play-in team, but also a road play-in team, I do think you guys will climb up the standings. But it's just one more thing to think about, that having that home court advantage, even though it is just one game in the NBA playoffs, might be going a long way for this Warriors team who have just some insane home road splits. So I think that's important as well. But then lastly, this is part of the reason why you paid Jordan Poole, right? You give him that $100 million, not only because you see him as the future and he could help you right now, whether it's on the bench or starting, but when he does start, we do see his splits and we do see his numbers increase. And while he can be an inconsistent ball player, he's still a young ball player too, right? So he's still, I wouldn't say finding his footing in this league, because he has a $100 million contract. His spot is solidified in this Warriors team, but to become more a consistent player, being able to, start consistently, now you're going to have a month basically, right, to be able to starter night in and night out. Hopefully he finds some more consistency.
Maybe longer than that, dude. It could be out. Curry could be out more longer than anyone thinks.
For sure. And then if you also think a month from now, that's like mid-January, the All-Star breaks, beginning of February as well. So if they want to be extra cautious with him. But a lot of it's going to have to do with what this team looks like a month from now. How many games are you out of the play-in, if you are out, or out of that playoff top 6?
This is disastrous for Golden State. There's really no other way to put it. Steph Curry means so much to this team that not having him can have them at the end of the season being a play-in team or trying to get into that area. The West is loaded right now. Steph Curry is going to miss 15 to 20 games at least. Bare minimum. The Warriors last season without Steph went 8-10. 2 years ago, they were 2-7. This team is a 500 team when Steph doesn't play. And not to mention, Steph isn't the only one that is hurt. Andrew Wiggins is in and out the lineup. He's been dealing with an injury. Draymond Green was listed out with a quad injury on Friday versus the Sixers. Draymond last year missed time. This team is not the most durable team. And this team does not have the luxury they did last season, where they had a lot of depth and veteran presences to keep the team afloat as much as they can without Steph. This is a jarring statistic about the Warriors' shot quality. When Steph Curry's on the court, they have the best shot quality of any team in the NBA.
Which makes sense.
When he's off, it's 22nd in the NBA, which is bottom 20 shot quality in the league. I do think Jordan Poole played better in the Philly game in the first half. He was very patient. He was trusting the system. In the second half, he went and found his offensive rhythm. But this puts the Warriors as a team that they're going to make the play-in maybe. There's a chance that they could slip out, though, because a lot of teams in the West are playing very good basketball right now. And I don't think this helps them in any way. You now move Jordan Poole to the starting lineup. The Warriors' bench was already the last in net rating in the NBA. Their bench was last in net rating. Jordan Poole moving to being a starter doesn't help that at all. And now playing off of Clay, Dre, it's going to be tough. Jordan Poole and Draymond Green, when they do play together in the same lineup, their net rating is a positive. But I don't think you can rely on solely Poole and Draymond lineups for that. Clay has been playing better, but he's inconsistent. ESPN right now has the Warriors playoff odds at 61%, and they're the projected 8th seed. I think that seems about fair. Curry missing this much time, I think it's going to be disastrous for Golden State. When Curry comes back, he has to be a borderline superhero for this team to get a top 8 seed or be in a play-in.
Which he can be.
Yeah, he can be, but it's going to be very hard.
I think, well, luckily he's already been a superhero, for the majority of the year. So luckily,
absolutely,
luckily he's shown he still has that in him, right? I think the beauty of it is, like you said it best, they've been a pretty much close to a 500, under 500 team without Steph Curry, so that's good. But they didn't have the requisite pieces on the bench to really fit that right now. But if you look at the West, right? Utah 17-14, Clippers 17-14, Dallas 15-14, Minnesota 14-15, even Portland 16-13. So if you're able to just maintain around that, and with a little bit of prayer, a little bit of luck, and all
Wiggins returning to practice,
and all the other teams stay in that area, then there should be no reason why you come in, Steph comes back, and you're like 2-3 games out of 16, and you're like, all right, we could maybe make a push. That's what they got to hope. A lot of luck, a lot of prayer, and hope and win some basketball games because they're still on this road stretch. I think they got like 3 games left on this road stretch, and it doesn't get easy. They got the Nets coming up, and they got 2 other good teams. So the schedule isn't going to get easier. So they have to inevitably make a move. I think this pretty much explains it. Steph Curry going out, and what these 2 games are going to show you have to make a move. If you believe in this team, if you believe in that starting 5, which there's no reason why you shouldn't because they've been playing sound basketball. They've been one of the best in the league, and they're getting old. If you believe in the starting 5, you should make a move.
So I saw a tweet of yours. It seemed like you were definitely against this. It was the trade between the Pistons and the Warriors, obviously. You get Bojan, you get Sadiq. You have to trade Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. The way that you react...
Okay. To be fair, I didn't see Bay in a deal.
That's what I'm saying.
I just thought it was Bojan
because you only acknowledged Bojan. Like he definitely didn't see.
Yeah, I didn't see the rest of it. So what was the deal? I'm sorry, I did not see.
It was Wiseman, Kuminga, and Moody. You get Bojan and you get Sadiq Bey. I don't hate it at all.
And,
no picks.
No, I don't think there was.
It
was
2026 pick.
Was it?
Yeah.
You guys would have to give it up to get.
Yeah. I really don't want to give up Kuminga. I won't lie to you. I really don't.
But Bojan is a better offensive player. Yes, the ceiling, you can have that idea of Kuminga.
Now.
Yes.
If you really want to be all in on this spot.
Bojan is a great offensive
Bay
player.
Is like, he's so...
Bay's going to give you defense. He's going to give you shooting.
He's not going to give you Kuminga's defense.
No way. But that's not really a necessity for them right now.
No, it is.
Yes, your defense could definitely need some help. But that being said,
there's moments where Clay, Minga, Wiggins are in the game, and Minga takes the best defender.
Kuminga's been playing phenomenal.
He has been playing very well. And that's not a knock against Kuminga wanting to trade him for Bojan. It's just that what can you really give up right now if you're the Warriors?
I'm all in on Moody and Wiseman going.
Okay.
I'm 100%.
But I don't think Bojan is going to be a Warrior. I don't think they're going to make a move for someone like that. I doubt they make a move for Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey right now in Detroit has already
dog water, bro.
He's been
he's been somebody that's been unable to accept a role within Detroit, and I doubt he comes into Golden State where being in a role is required.
Literally being on the Warriors.
So I don't think Sadiq Bey is a good fit there.
I don't know. I feel like people felt similarly with
Curry
Wiggins.
Leadership.
It's something about being in that Golden State organization. Yeah. Something about it, you just change your mindset when you play there because you know you're playing for a different purpose. When you're playing for the Pistons, your purpose is not to win games, or obviously everyone's purpose is to win.
I agree, but you got to look at it like
Bay's
this.
Coming off the bench right now.
Yeah, do you want to go trade a young guy outside of Bojan? Do you want to go trade young guys for another young guy that could possibly be another headache?
But I don't think he would be a headache.
I don't know.
Because when you go to Golden State, there's a clear mission, championship.
And there was this, Wiggins did change the narrative around his career in Golden State, but he's always been this offensive player. I'd say that Golden State has kind of limited his offensive game a little bit because in Minnesota, he was able to do whatever he wanted.
Well, he could shoot threes.
Yeah, and even when Jimmy Butler was in Minnesota, he said that Wiggins was never the problem. He had more of a problem with Cat than he did with Wiggins. Mm-hmm. So Wiggins was always able to accept authority. I don't know if Sadiq Bey is. The Warriors, I think they're going to stay with their current team. They might make a move for a backup center because they need rim protection. Maybe they trust Wiseman's development as of now because he has been in the G League and he's been playing better there. But this is like their next 10 games, the Raptors, Knicks, Nets, Grizzlies, Hornets, Jazz, Blazers, Hawks, Pistons, Magic. That could be 3-7 right there.
A lot of tough games there.
You know, I have them winning against the Hornets,
how many
the
road
Pistons,
games?
and Magic.
feel like it was like half.
That could be 1 and
But
9.
they can lose against the
You have
Mats. The
only
Mats been playing better.
Your next 3 are away, but then you have like a 7-8 game home stretch.
All right, see, that's the beauty of it. You know, you play at home. You know they play better at home.
Yeah. You have the Raptors, Knicks, and Nets on the road. Then Grizzlies, Hornets, Jazz. The rest of the guys are home through like January 10th.
I think a cheaper guy. Bogdan's like, what, $20 million a year?
Boy,
It's not bad.
He's on a great deal though.
Yeah.
No, but I'm saying for the Warriors, I don't think
Duncan's
they'll get
getting 18.
Well, Duncan stinks.
Exactly.
Bro,
But I think
in
for
peace.
Golden State, I don't think they lock that in because he's due for like 3 years.
And
Would you
Kuminga
try
right
and
now has been playing
Would you sell it for
the
Miles Turner?
Draymond role.
No, if I wouldn't settle for Boga, why would
I said I forgot the word I said.
Said settle.
I think he did say
No, not settle. Sell out.
Oh,
for Miles Turner.
Yes.
I don't think Miles Turner's getting moved.
No.
I don't think Miles Turner's getting moved.
Okay.
I think he stays in.
I also, when watching the Warriors, Kuminga's playing the Draymond role, and I think that
he's finally a fucking roller.
He's been excelling at that. And you look at where the Warriors are right now; they have not paid Draymond. There's been no reports of a negotiation in
coming to LA.
place. So if the Warriors move off from Draymond, I doubt that they're gonna trade their young players because they're gonna need that for their future and this rebuild.
yeah.
I think that they're just gonna see what happens with this team they have now. Wait for Steph to come back and possibly make a play in a playoff push. Maybe they surprise us and Jordan Poole is explosive. Klay Thompson is, Wiggins and Dre. Jordan Poole is averaging 25 in the start, so I think he's going to be more than fine. It gives him a solidified
It's just
role and in the offense now.
It's that
that he's
Jermichael
starting.
Green spot, man. That shit is.
You need him
killing-
gone?
Go.
It's killing
Yeah.
me bad, bro. We need somebody else for that spot.
So I
Man.
feel about
He
Luke
misses
Cornett.
open layups. It's undeniable defensively.
Bielitsa.
Yeah, he went. Didn't he go overseas? He didn't
so.
retire. He just went overseas.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of
Bielitsa's
your
good,
bench guys
man.
walked in the offseason. It's going to happen.
Oh, you can't pay everybody, you know.
It's facts.
Can't pay. I mean, Otto doesn't even
Bielitsa.
play, so
True.
Otto Porter doesn't play. Gary Payne hasn't played yet, so
He was injured.
that's what I said.
Yeah, he's playing soon. Gary Payne's back. GP too. He's back.
What, are you a GP guy now too?
I like Gary Payne.
Oh, my
He's a very
God,
good,
bro.
rugged
There's
defender.
no
What
stop
can you
with
do,
them.
man?
And I just love players that get down and dirty, able to pick up the defensive assignments.
Like Nick Claxton.
Yeah,
Facts.
they're able to pick up the assignments on D. That's my type of guy.
Wow.
The Memphis Grizzlies.
Nuts.
They lost to Golden State in the playoffs last year, but now they look like a better, new, revitalized team. 7-game win streak, 19-9, first in the Western Conference. Their big three has not played a minute together this season, which is the most surprising stat. And this is the first time in franchise history that they are the first seed this deep into the season. So a lot of history going on in Memphis right now. What do you think about the Grizzlies, Drew?
What's great about them is their ability to get out in transition. Right now, they're second in the league in fast break points. They play a very fast-paced game, and it's because they are one of the more youthful teams in the league. They have a great young core. It also starts with Ja Morant being a superstar, averaging 27. He's just been phenomenal. When he's on the court, when he's off the court, the Grizzlies just know how to keep it rolling. Jaren Jackson now returns. Jaren Jackson has been just one of the most dominant presence on the defensive side of the ball. And you alluded to it already. This has been with Desmond Bane being out for a good amount of time, looking to miss more weeks on top of this. They really just have been playing a great team basketball. There's really not much else to say. With some great wins, they smoked Milwaukee. That wasn't even a competition where they were clowning on the bench, doing the wave with the fans. They were really having fun. The game was over at that point. I have no problem with it. But it is funny, and I'm sure Milwaukee did not like that, not one bit. Wins against Atlanta, Detroit, Oklahoma City, these aren't huge wins. Miami is, depending on how you see Miami, they've been playing some solid basketball recently. But the real most impressive win on this win stretch has been Milwaukee in the way that they embarrassed it. I'll let Riv talk about the defense a little bit more because he gave me a lineup that the Grizzlies have been running that has just been basically stopping everyone, not letting anything happen. But the defense that team plays is phenomenal, arguably the best in the association right now.
Oh, thanks for putting me on the spot. Well, no, that defense, like I said before to you, short sample size.
Sure.
It was Aldama, it was
Tyus
Roddy,
Jones.
Tyus Jones, Dillon Brooks, John Conchar, I believe, and they was running a ridiculous rate at like 95.6. But in general, 7 games, 118.8 offensive rating, 101.1 defensive rating. So they've been a lead on both ends of the ball.
For sure.
Grit, grind, consistency, drafting well, plug in, plug out. They are essentially the Miami Heat of the West. They can just plug in any guy off the bench, any guy on the out the G
What do you
League.
mean by that? Miami Heat of last year.
Yes, in terms of
I
like
got you.
they just
culture, franchise.
Yeah, like they just find anybody, they bring him up, he plays, he's phenomenal in the system. So I just think this team is so deep, 10, 11, 12 deep, just in their system. They got guys who can play on any given night, any given moment. And you mentioned it, Bane, Jackson Jr., Ja Morant haven't played a single minute together, and they're the number one seed in the West. Ja Morant has been amazing this year.
Unbelievable.
Desmond Bane has been ridiculous. Jaren Jackson has showed that defensive upside that we've all
And he's
known
knocking,
he had.
he's knocking threes down,
which
like
we-
4
we-
attempts, almost
which we finally
36%.
wanted to see. So I think this team is hungry. This team, and a lot of us slept on this team. We thought because they didn't make a move, they didn't bring in anybody new outside of the draft, that maybe they'll take a step back. The West,
I wasn't
got better.
expecting Jackson to be back this soon.
And he's
crazy. He's crazy.
Defensively, he's a nut. But I think this team is elite. This team is definitely one of the best teams in the West, and they've been amazing on this 7-game streak. Top 2 team in both categories just in these 7 games alone.
Yeah.
So I think definitely you should look out for this team, 10-man roster, and they're gonna do their thing come down the stretch.
I think 10 man, it's like a 15-man roster.
Shit is nuts.
They're amazing.
They have so many players that can just plug and play. You got people like Kenneth Lofton Jr., who's on a roster. He's in a G League dominating.
Yeah, he had
He's not even
what is
playing.
it? 3 straight games, or is it something like that he had 30? He's
Yeah.
been amazing.
Yeah, they just find players every year. This year has been Salty Aldama. It's been David Roddy. They find players to play a role. Jake LaRavia in the draft.
17.7 net rating.
Yeah.
What was the normal defensive lineup that they set at that's still like the defensive rating of like 107?
I'll tell you right now.
I think it was Jaren, Dillon Brooks. I don't think Tyus was in that one.
I feel like when you look at Memphis, the Taylor Jenkins and Ja Morant era, where they both entered in the 2019 and 2020 season, they both were part of the Grizzlies organization. I feel like this Grizzlies run, their improvement is kind of expected. And although I didn't expect it, I feel like when you look at the timeline and go back and revisionist history, you look at it, it's like we should have expected this type of jump from Memphis. In the 1920 season, they lost a tough playing game versus Portland in the bubble. The 2020-2021 season, they lost in the first round in 5 games to Utah, which was the first seed at the time, and Ja Morant
That was his
had
breakout.
an exceptional playoff performance. And then this past season, the 2021-2022 season, they lose in the second round of Golden State in 6 games, who eventually won a championship. It just feels like this year is another year where they're going to take a step forward. Last year, they finished as a 2nd seed. I wouldn't be surprised if they finished as a 1st seed this year. And we've talked about it. The Western Conference is wide open this season. There's so many teams that can make it out the West. And I look at Memphis, and it feels like it's their time to go to the conference finals and to make the NBA finals possibly. This team is the deepest team in the West. They have a superstar. They have stars around that superstar. They have, you can argue, the best coach in the West in Taylor Jenkins, who is, he's been amazing since he's been in Memphis.
Okay.
I just feel like it's
We're already taking that away from Steve Kerr?
That's pretty nuts.
one of the best coaches.
Oh, no, I thought you said the best.
Oh, okay.
No,
Well,
you said arguably the best.
Yes, that's what. If you say
Arguably the
one of,
best.
one of,
One of
hey,
is fine,
that's a.
yeah.
Steve Kerr and him, I think right now, Steve Kerr, the offensive system, you put him over, but outside of Steve Kerr, Taylor Jenkins is better than everybody in the West as a coach. I think I can say that pretty clearly and pretty emphatically. He's the best coach.
Willie Green.
Monty.
He's a better coach than Willie Green.
He's entering that
Ty
conversation.
Lue's somebody
Ty Lue's
that
in there.
I would put with him as well, but Taylor Jenkins is an elite coach nonetheless.
He is, absolutely.
And Jaren Jackson Jr., him being back has helped him tremendously. He's averaging 3.3 blocks in only 25 minutes per game. You can see his defensive impact. He helps so much on help sides, on rotations. He makes players not want to drive to the basket because when Jaren Jackson is around players, you can kind of see there's a hesitation. There's a second of hesitation of whether or not I should shoot this ball right now because Jaren Jackson could be right behind me. With Jaren Jackson this year, 2nd defensive rating in the NBA they're the 20th. His recovery speed is elite. His shot blocking is elite. There's a 11% difference when he's on the court versus off the court in field goal percentage amongst offensive players when they're playing against them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Desmond Bane is not back yet. And Desmond Bane this year took a huge jump as a shot creator. His rookie season, he was taking 5 unassisted shots per game. Last season, it was 10, and this year it was at almost 15 per 100 possessions. So when you get Desmond Bane back, you have this depth, you have these players. they can go to the finals, and they can. I think the next step for them is the conference finals. I feel pretty confident in them making the conference finals this year. It's whether or not they'll make the NBA finals. But I think this year in the West, it's going to be one of those young gun teams that make the finals, like a Memphis, like a New Orleans that can make it. Denver's in the mix as well, but I do have a problem with Denver because of Jokic and how they can expose him and drop coverage, and he's not a great rim protector. But Memphis and New Orleans feel like those teams that they can make the finals jump this season, and based off experience, Memphis has that edge over the Pelicans. Yeah. So, I see a path where they can make it.
They do feel like the favorite right now, and Riv, you talked about it a bit. I don't know, I might be wrong, that I was the highest on Memphis coming in terms of seeding. And I remember when we were doing the rankings, we all, not all, but they were the 2 seed last year. I feel like we all had them around that 5-6 seed this year.
5, 6,
and it's
7,
like, well, they didn't get worse. I know you're going to be missing Jaren Jackson, but obviously he came back sooner than expected.
So soon.
And it was more so we were expecting, I guess, the Clippers to stay healthy, and I don't remember, maybe Dallas above them,
the
whoever.
Warriors should not have been in this position also.
We had the Wolves, I think, all ahead of them too.
What happened, Riv?
No, I'm just reading the comments. Clippers figuring it out before that loss the other day.
Yeah, no.
Before that loss, they were figuring it out.
Nobody played, that's why. So
yeah, they got to stay healthy. But right now, it does feel like
Minnesota's
Memphis,
another one that people thought were going to be better.
Yeah, so the Timberwolves too. It does feel like Memphis right now
feels
like the favorite.
A lot of people
it's not a
thought
shot.
that Timberwolves were going to be good.
We all had them as one of the.
We all have them top 5.
Nah, Riv just immediately goes, I'm just like,
no, because I
I'm
thought
not
he
throwing
was gonna,
shots here.
No, that's why, because I thought you was throwing a shot,
No.
so I thought he was going to rebuttal.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Sorry.
This guy's trying to start beef, man.
It's always something with Riv.
Right? He's a vibe killer,
It's
man.
always something. And he like looks to be like the cool, laid back. I'm just vibing. But
For
in
real,
reality,
nah, you're messy.
You're done.
Nah, but what I was saying with Memphis before y'all cut me off 4 times, they do feel like the favorite right now. You guys touched on a lot of it, but I think more than anything, they are the young and up-and-coming team, but they also have that experience from last season going up against the Warriors. They've already been in, a series that felt like a finals-type series going up against a team, the Dynasty team who just won the championship. So having that experience, I think, is going to be huge, especially over a team like the Pelicans. What happened?
That there's such a strong chance the Colts lose this game.
Oh, yeah, no, the Vikings are coming back. But no, the Grizzlies right now, they're unbelievable. I mean, you got the superstar, Jaren Jackson. I thought he was supposed to be out till like December, November. He came back.
I thought you were coming New Year's.
For real.
Yeah.
For real.
So the fact that he
December.
came back this quick, he's also shooting like 38% from 3 still.
Bro,
like he's
been
giving you that
knocking it
defense,
down.
but he's also, if you're able to shoot like that, I think 4 or 5 attempts per game as well. He's been able to do that pretty consistently. And then, Desmond Bane, who comes back in probably a month, averaging 25, I want to say, before injury.
Tyus Jones,
one of the
another
better,
one.
yeah,
one of the best backup
guards
guards
in
in
the
the
I
league.
found it. And
The lineup?
yeah,
Good
2
looks.
lineups. Fucking nuts, actually. And so obviously 7 games, so limited minutes. The first lineup, 18 minutes, John Morant,
Bane should be a Celtic.
John Conchar. I don't know if I'm saying his last name right.
Conchar.
Dillon Brooks, Brandon Clark, Jaren Jackson Jr. 116.2 offensive rating, 80.6 defensive
It's just
rating.
stupid.
Then the next one, 4 games, 16 minutes, John Morant, John Conchar, Dillon Brooks, Santi Aldama, Steven Adams, 130.8 offensive rating, 89.5 defensive rating. So John Morant, baby.
He's him.
Locks.
It was never in question.
I definitely was.
Whether Ja was him or not.
No, the cone shit. He was. Pat Bev, he was doing this to him and shit. It was
That was
truly
rude.
embarrassing.
That was rude.
Embarrassing arc.
What's going on? They call time.
16 minutes is crazy, though.
16 minutes is it's because not many it's 48 minutes, 26 minutes, 23 minutes, 21 minutes, and then it goes like down. Only 7 games.
I figure most of that's coming from the Milwaukee game.
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a 7-game sample or 2 games. So yeah, it probably was. They was whipping Milwaukee ass all up and down the court. Oh my
A
God.
Pelicans Memphis
That
Western
would be,
Conference Finals would be great
We need
for
it.
basketball.
Yes, that would be.
And
would
I
be
already
great
know
for
where the sides
basketball.
are gonna line.
You know what would be awesome?
You do?
Because that's
Pels, probably Pels, Memphis.
I don't know who I would. I don't know.
You're in on the Pels like that?
I fuck with both
Memphis
team,
in that
honestly.
series.
Really? Oh.
I think Jaren Jackson.
I need to see my boy Bi back. You should have texted me before you tweeted that out, bro. That
No,
was
it was
mad trolling.
no, it wasn't trolling. I was genuinely asking.
Yeah,
And
no.
I knew I have Pelicans haters, so I knew they'd answer me.
Oh.
Yeah. So
You got
I
a
wanted
big-
to ask.
Oh my God.
People think I was trolling BI.
You need to
but,
stop.
you know.
Thank
I think
God.
Jaren Jackson Jr. His presence
Oh,
can
it's
limit
different.
Zion.
Limit?
Yeah.
No one's limiting him.
Zion's gonna get his.
No one's limiting him.
It's gonna be harder, but Zion's gonna.
I'm gonna
get
keep it
his.
100. Come on, if people can limit Giannis, you can limit Zion.
Yeah, but that's why you said limits.
No, because You can limit.
Not
You're
really.
making it
Who?
harder, but
Who's
they're
limited-
going to get
who's
his.
limited him?
The Heat have
In
done
recent
it.
memory,
The Heat have done it.
like the last couple years,
The
no
Heat
one's
did
done it.
2 years ago.
Damn, Jalen Reagor.
The year that Milwaukee,
You know, the
won
year
whole
they got
thing?
swept, Giannis only averaged like 23 points.
Well,
He was
also
shooting
at the
poor
same time,
efficiency.
the entire team was clicking on all cylinders. Giannis didn't have to kick
Zion
into
has
that
been on
gear.
a tear, but his one bad game or all right game was against
The
Memphis.
Grizzlies. Ironically,
he had 14 points and he only shot 12 shots.
was that early in the year?
No, that was like
Like
9-10 games ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
So
enough.
during this, like after that, it was 23, 33, 30, 25, 29, 35, 35, 26,
And then
31.
14.
Yeah.
They'll probably put
Interesting,
Dillon
okay.
Brooks on him.
All right.
Maybe. Or maybe they'll put Brooks on BI.
I mean, if Zion's just going to continue to play the way that he's playing, a.k.a. this aggressive, assertive, no one's stopping me mindset,
Yeah.
I find it hard to find a team that... or-
Memphis has the backbone for it.
if
to
there's
make it
any
harder,
team, you're
to make
you're
it
making a
harder.
fair point. But
Bucks
I'm
also.
trusting Zion in his ability.
And Jackson has 7'7" wingspan.
And another thing that we're not accounting for, did Brandon Ingram play that game?
I doubt it.
I doubt it too. So that's what I'm saying. That presence is going to be felt come playoff time. Hopefully, BI gets fully healthy by then too. It's been seeming like he's been plagued regardless. He comes back, another injury and something aggravated. But with BI, things definitely get interesting.
Early in the season, Minnesota
By the
swung
way,
for
they're
the
pushing this
fences.
Dillon Brooks top 50 players shit ahead.
I mean, it's crazy, but let's talk about Dillon Brooks. We've spoken about it a little bit on previous shows. Dillon Brooks, the one thing that we have issue with is his shot selection. But you can live with it because of how unbelievable of a defender he is. That's it. That's all there is to say.
Yes, that's fair.
He averages 17, which is more than fine. It's like, would you take Tobias or him?
Come on.
Right? You're going with Dillon Brooks.
Yes.
And one's getting
I'm not
paid $30-some
thinking
million.
fucking twice about it,
So
yeah.
there you go.
He would take a lot of guys over Tobias.
I mean,
Yeah,
and
that's
that's-
Definitely.
I mean, I hope we all would, right?
Yeah.
come playoff time, you know who
Tobias
Tobias
isn't
is.
as.
He's not a scrub.
He's not as
a
bad.
scrub.
So give me a player you think I shouldn't take over him that I would.
How about you name a player?
You know what's crazy, bro? I actually have the list of small forwards,
Oh, okay, that's
but I wanted to save it for when we do contracts.
Sadiq
okay.
Bey or Tobias.
Tobias.
Thought I was gonna take Sadiq Bey. Right?
Like that would,
Cam Reddish.
Come on, I'll take Cameron.
I got you.
Just that's extremely biased. Though. Come on,
RJ Barrett or Tobias?
RJ Barrett.
You're not taking the contracts into account.
So you don't want
player
The
for player.
contracts are a
Just-
huge part
But
of
player for player, who's just
Well, I
a
mean,
better
because
player?
Tobias's player doesn't match up his contract. That's what's hard to. But player for player, right now,
it. Tobias is more efficient for sure,
he's a better shooter.
but he's streaky. He's streaky.
I'll take RJ.
I don't hate you for it.
I'll take RJ.
Mikal Bridges?
That's another. That's
That's
actually
pretty easy.
That's a good one for me. I'll
You're going
take, I'll take
Tobias
Bridges.
or
No,
Mikal?
Mikal.
Yeah.
I'll take Bridges. But both of those dudes don't move the shit out
Wiggins,
of me.
I'm assuming you're taking
Come on.
Wiggs.
Yeah, Wiggs.
MPJ.
MPJ.
Okay.
That's closer than you
With
think.
injuries.
OG Anunoby?
OG.
I agree. DeAndre Hunter.
I would take Tobias.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take
Easily.
Tobias. Yeah.
Franz. I would go Franz personally.
Franz.
You're taking Dillon Brooks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. Is there another name? Would you take Dort or Tobias?
Fuck. Tobias. Damn, I like
That's
Dortz.
easy.
Huh?
That's easy.
Yeah, I like Dortz though. I do like Dortz. Ah, damn.
That's it. I won't get any more disrespectful.
It just he gets paid like 35 mil. Hate it had to be
It's
him.
just a lot. No, his contract.
Hate it had to be him.
He needs to be in the top
He be
5.
chilling too. Hate it had to be him.
Minnesota swung for the fences this offseason by trading for Rudy Gobert. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to revisit that trade and talk about how bad it's been, because I think that's all it's been pretty much. The Wolves got Rudy Gobert, and the Jazz got Malik Beasley, Pat Bev, Walker Kessler, Leandro Bolmero, Jared Vanderbilt, and 4 first-round picks along with a pick swap. So looking at this trade right now, can it age and potentially be one of the worst trades in the last decade?
All right. I don't know if you have a similar opinion on this one, but the immediate trade that comes to mind is that Celtics Nets trade. I just don't know how a trade could possibly top.
That shit aged beautifully for the Celtics.
Jettas just got rocked, bro. Holy shit.
It's the second time of 2. But let's just look at what the Celtics were able to acquire. So of irrelevantness in the situation, Keith Bogans, Marshawn Brooks, Chris Humphries, Chris Joseph, Gerald Wallace. That's irrelevant. They got a 2014 first round pick, which was James Young. Obviously, not anything to hoot and holler about. 2016 first, Jaylen Brown. 2017 first, Jason Tatum. And the 2018 first-round
Thank
pick
God.
they used to trade for Kyrie Irving, which essentially
It was cool.
it didn't work out.
just-
But
that didn't work out
the
for either
core,
party.
the
Core is
cream of the
there.
crop
Yeah.
were drafted
Jays.
with these picks that they selected from the
Losers.
Nets. I just don't see, unless it's going to have to be in years to come, we find out if this trade is worse. But right now, I don't see how it's this bad because the whole point for the
What about the
Nets
PG trade?
we'll
If
see.
they don't win a chip.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's
but
up
we
there
have
for
to see.
sure.
We have to see how they draft because the Celtics hit
a home
home
run.
runs on
Yeah.
drafts.
I
But-
even think if the Clippers don't win a chip.
But another reason why it's so bad is that the Nets made this move to get over the Heat hump.
That's exactly,
right?
yeah.
So that next year they reached the conference finals in the second round. The Celtics
Yeah,
weren't
'cause
good. They didn't make the playoffs.
even if the Nets
smart
win a
here.
chip, it's still win-win both sides.
In 2014, 2015, the Nets went to the first round of the conference finals, were eliminated. The Celtics also made it to the first round of the conference finals. Actually had a better regular season record than the Nets just a year after making that trade. 15-16, Nets didn't make the playoffs. 16-17, Nets didn't make the playoffs. 17-18, didn't make the playoffs. 18-19, made it to the first round of the Eastern Conference. But the Celtics were first round exits in 15-16, conference finals in 16-17, conference finals in 17-18, second round of the Eastern Conference in 18-19. I just feel like it'll be extremely hard for this Gobert trade to be this bad, but we have years to find out if it's going to be at this level.
Well, I think looking at both trades, there was one guy at the head of the table making it. It's Danny Ainge.
He's a genius.
Danny Ainge made that trade to get Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, get all those picks and all those assets for an aging star. And now he's doing the same when he's been in Utah. He traded Donovan Mitchell already. He traded Rudy Gobert. He said, we're going to start fresh. We're going to start new. And Utah, right now, they're playing with a lot of life. This team reminds me a lot of the 14-15 Boston Celtics, where a lot of players are better than we expected. Lauri Markkanen is better than we expected.
Absolutely.
Jared Vanderbilt, he's always been this good, but I think now people are starting to realize that, Jared Vanderbilt is one of those winning players. You put him on a team, and the team just becomes better by default because of the effort he brings on a nightly basis. Jordan Clarkson's having the best season of his career. Looking at this trade, it's going to age terribly for Minnesota.
I don't disagree.
Because we're going to get into it deeper on next segment, but the Timberwolves right now have two of the worst contracts in the NBA. They have Rudy Gobert's contract,
You're going to throw Cat into that?
and they have Cat's contract.
That's so rude.
Cat is going to be getting paid $60 million in a couple seasons, and he's not that level of a player.
Interesting.
So now that you have two of the worst contracts in the NBA that are pretty much untradeable,
How do you feel about that?
What do you mean?
Carl Anthony Towns.
You know how I feel about Karl Anthony Towns, so
it's going to
I'm
be...
shocked to hear you say
I
that.
agree with everything he's saying. 'cause
Well,
I'm shocked to hear you
I
say
think
that.
Zach LaVine's contract's horrible. I think players that
weird.
I think
Why
players
why'd you just do that to him?
because I think players that are not superstar level players that get paid like supermax players or max players are not worthy of the contract. There's a big that's a big reason why I'm
Weren't
not a
you
big
giving
fan
Carl
of
Anthony
Bradley
Towns-
Beal
not
getting
what
that
you
deal.
said
I
before
thought
about
I was gonna say
Cat.
I thought you were giving Carl Anthony Towns nothing but his flowers this offseason.
I can also acknowledge that the contract's not a great contract.
That's not this flute you was blowing before, but
No,
whatever.
Cat's a phenomenal player, but the contract he's going to be getting paid on par with Nikola Jokic. He's not Nikola Jokic. Cat is an all-NBA caliber all-star player, but he's not that caliber of a player.
What's Jokic's contract right now?
Supermax probably $40 million, 45.
Cat's going to get paid the same as Jokic, the same as D Book. It's a supermax deal. And there's a reason why small market teams in the past have refused to pay that supermax contract to players. The Hornets, they didn't do it for Kemba Walker because they knew that it was going to hinder their flexibility.
Yeah.
But now that the Wolves have two of those contracts in Rudy Gobert and Cat, it minimizes this flexibility a ton.
I'm with
And
you.
when you look at what the Jazz have right now in Walker Kessler is Rudy Gobert light. He's actually been better than Rudy Gobert this season in the minutes he's played. And there's this funny meme I saw on Twitter from Moneyball. It was a picture of the scout, telling the GM.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah, and he was saying, listen, I can get a player. Walker Kessler does exactly what Rudy Gobert does. Plus, they'll give us all these role players and these picks. And it's true. Walker Kessler this year, he's fifth in blocks. He's the only player in the top 10 averaging under 24 minutes per game in that category of blocks per game that he's top 10 in. And he blocks 40% of his shots that he contests, and players shoot 10% less than expected when guarded by him, and he's only playing 17 minutes per game. This guy was a shot-blocking beast at Auburn. He does a lot of what Rudy Gobert does, and when you look at the two main staples of the deal, Walker Kessler and, in my opinion, Jared Vanderbilt. Jared Vanderbilt was the heart and soul of the Minnesota Timberwolves team, and losing him hurt a lot for the team chemistry. And Walker Kessler, right now, you can argue I'd rather have Walker and Jared on their deals than I'd Rudy Gobert. So just those two players.
The keywords are on their deal.
Yeah.
You're 100%.
So
That's
just
a fair assessment.
So just those two players, and then the Jazz are also getting 4 first-round picks. And Danny Ainge, as of recently, hasn't been hitting on the draft. But if Minnesota doesn't make the play-in this year and Utah gets a lottery pick from Minnesota, yeah, this deal is going to go down as an all-time bad deal.
I'm with you.
So, to your point of aging terribly, he has a point. This year, Cat is the 25th most paid player.
Mm-hmm.
Next year,
25th is not horrible.
Next year, he'll be 24. But
Okay.
in 2024, 2025, he will be the 8th paid player.
Okay.
That hurts.
All right.
Then in 2025, 2026, he will be the 8th paid player.
But
we keep going.
Are there going to be players that are eligible for contracts?
Jimmy
That's
Butler,
true.
Giannis,
You're gonna have
Rudy
people-
Gobert.
Yeah, but
above
those
him.
won't kick in until
only
like 2-3 years
only
down the
guys
line.
like Donovan Mitchell and Jason Tatum will probably get paid more than Cat.
How
at
much
that time.
longer is Gobert getting paid?
This is the last year. This would be the last year. 2026. He will get paid $46 million.
This is the last year?
2026.
Oh,
26.
until
Yeah,
2026.
he'll be
He will
getting
be
paid
getting
through
paid the
2026.
He will be the 11th highest
Jesus
paid player.
Christ.
So Cat is going to get paid through 2027 at an average of 50 to 60 million, and
And he'll
Gobert's getting paid
accept that
through
2028 deal.
2026 at an average of 40 million.
Yeah.
So you're paying 100 million to Rudy Gobert and Cat for the next.
It's hard
Yeah,
to build your
let's
franchise
just
around
be
those two
realistic.
guys.
Cat will
Not
take
going
that
to.
player option, so he's going to get paid through 2028,
Yeah.
$60 million.
60 mil.
Yeah, he
That's-
gets paid 60 mil in
that's
2028.
grimy.
He's not declining that.
No,
That's-
hell no. He'd have to be insane to do that. But that's just. It was honestly, once the deal happened, I was more concerned, not even thinking long term, but just in a playoff series, how this roster looks with Gobert, because that was one of his biggest knocks in Utah. And you're going to be trading 5-6 first round picks, paying him all this money. You don't even know in the most valuable moments, is he going to be out in the court? And now you come to realize that maybe you should have made this deal all along, giving up all of those draft picks, paying him all of this money. And I just don't think you're really going to want to build a roster around two bigs. I don't know if you thought you could build the championship roster with Gobert and Cat being your two highest paid players. Now, obviously, you have Ant, who's on a rookie deal, so he's not getting paid. I understand that, but you're just not flexible. You compare it to the Kemba Walker situation. I think that's a great example where losing the player is probably more beneficial and rather have that flexibility. Even though that player is great for Kemba, he was the heart and soul for the Hornets' entire franchise. Honestly, like probably the biggest player their franchise has ever had since
He's their leading scorer.
LaMelo. Yeah. Gobert, I guess similar, but obviously that bit more history there. But seeing him go, it was probably the best move for them turning into this full rebuild. But at least for the Timberwolves, it's not going to be the worst trade of all time because of that Nets deal. Shout out to them for that. But it's really going to go down as a missed opportunity for Minnesota more than anything, because you had the flexibility with young players while also having Cat in his prime and Anthony Edwards becoming a superstar. So it's a bad trade, but more than anything, you're just a huge missed opportunity to become, a really competitive team for years.
And I think what sucks is that Tim Connolly is the current GM of the Wolves, and he's the one who okayed this deal and wanted to make this deal in the first place. Tim Connolly was the Nuggets' former GM. He traded Rudy Gobert on draft night to the Jazz. He traded Donovan Mitchell on draft night to the Jazz. The reason why the Jazz had their core was because of Tim Connolly. And the Nuggets at one point had Jared Vanderbilt. Tim Connolly traded him to Minnesota.
Wasn't he hurt though? Vanderbilt, he was hurt when he first got there.
Yeah, but I don't think they never played him. He was never in the rotation. The Nuggets have a history of missing out on key role players and letting them walk. Malik Beasley's an example. Bull's a recent example. Vanderbilt's an example of it. They don't have the best history of that. And Tim Connolly, I think, deserves a lot of blame because I think he's the one that tried to accelerate this process. We see two teams in Memphis and Minnesota.
Yep.
One team in Memphis decided to be patient. We're going to let Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bane, and all of our key young role players grow together, where Minnesota said, we're going to accelerate this process. We're going to trade for Rudy Gobert. We're going to give up Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, 4 first-round picks. And Memphis right now, they have saw this through, and they're now first in the conference, while Minnesota is in a play-in. And there's a lot of question marks about their future. D'Lo is an unrestricted free agent in the offseason. He hasn't fit the best with these players. Cat is on a Supermax deal, which is going to limit their flexibility. Anthony Edwards is outspoken and vocal. If he does not like something, if he feels like the direction of the team is not the best, he will be vocal about it. And Rudy Gobert has never been a player that demanded or got respect from his teammates. He's somebody that across the league, although the numbers tell us that he's an elite rim protector, players across the league have openly disrespected him and his food and his impact.
Random Zach LaVine stray, but I'll let that one slide.
That's a bad contract.
Yeah, still random stray, but it was
a
weird.
Horrible contract.
I'll let it slide though because he can't mess my mojo up.
I feel like that's so tough to put on LaVine though. Is it his play that's bad, or is it that his body's not holding up?
That makes it a bad contract.
He's been playing better as of recently, but you had a knee surgery, then you had another knee surgery, and they paid you. I think that's mismanagement on the front office. Yeah, but they knew he was going to get it.
Yeah, that's still weird, Stray. What's the name? What was I about to say? You look at the Bucks. You look at the Cavs. Look at Boston to a degree. What's been the reason they can run 2 bigs? The 4 is versatile. Mobley to a degree is versatile. Al Horford is versatile. Even Jaren Jackson and Steven Adams, versatile.
Definitely.
Giannis, Brooks, versatile. Cat isn't as versatile as those 4s. He can't move like those other 4s, which makes this one real difficult. I understand the move. Minnesota just wanted.
What do you mean by that?
Versatile in the sense defensively, the way they can move out in the perimeter, stuff like that.
Got it.
Like offensively, yeah, Cat can.
I was going to say offensively,
but defensively, these guys can't coexist.
Got it.
It's tough, and especially you got Anthony Edwards, who's not a great shooter. He's streaky at best. He likes the ball. He likes to drive to the basket. He needs his space, his area.
Great finisher, though. Unbelievable.
It's interesting. This trade, I understand the mindset. They wanted to get better. I guess it was just a quick move too fast to try to get better too fast instead of, like you said, taking the Memphis route. You had a lot of young guys. Jaden McDaniels was an elite defender. He can get better. Anthony Edwards can get better. Jaren Vanderbilt, he was the heart and soul. You could have kept Pat Bev. You could have kept the team, still made another run. But they wanted to make a move fast, get into that championship area real quick. It just failed miserably. Will this go down as one of the worst trades? I don't know. Will it age terribly?
I'm with you.
Absolutely.
It just all depends on how this team meshes when they're finally healthy and together.
Yeah, but they don't have the draft capital. They don't have the flexibility, and I think that's the most important part. You don't have flexibility to make any moves. You don't have the draft capital to bring in real guys. So you're pretty much stuck with this core for a couple years. It's going to be really hard to move Gobert. He's 30. Cat, he's 27. I've been very vocal about Cat. He cannot be the best player in the championship team. He can argue his skill set is just weird. And now you have him on a big ass contract, $60 million towards the end, and $50 million. That's making Steph, the Joker, Giannis potentially money. So it's like he's not one of those players. He's probably 2 tiers below those players. So it's gonna be tough to get out of this mess they're in.
So what number is Cat right now?
In terms of what?
Is Cat a top 20 player in the NBA?
Woo!
To say 2 tiers? Like,
well, if Steph and Giannis are top 5,
fair,
so
yeah.
Absolutely.
He's at the end of
Absolutely.
he's like 18, 19. That's pretty comfortably 2 tiers, So that's deep.
Okay.
So that's why it's a Steph.
Got
Giannis
it. Got it.
I didn't name like Trae Young, or something like that, because
Is he in that realm?
he's probably like a tier below that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right.
He's in
Interesting.
JB's tier.
yes, perfect.
Go on.
No, JB's climbing. So
Yeah.
JB maybe.
Is JB top 20?
Yes. Yeah.
What number?
I don't fucking know.
Top 20 is top 20.
He might not be top
Exactly.
15. I don't think he's top 15.
Yeah,
No,
say
no,
back
no,
half,
no.
closer to
17,
20,
18,
yeah.
19, some shit like that. You asked me on the spot.
I'm just saying, top 20. I've never heard you really.
I said he was top 25 last year. What the
No,
fuck?
top 25 is. But I feel like that's safe.
Just because I don't feel the
he's
same you
improved.
feel about you. No, I had him top 25 last year.
Got it.
I had him
All right.
like 22.
Just seeing where you
23
stand,
last
Rev. That's all.
year. Yeah, I mean,
Is that cool?
you trying to catch me? Nah, JB top 20, baby. Not top 15 though. You might
No,
never
no,
be
no,
top
not
10.
yet. Never be top 10. Okay.
That's pretty hard.
All right.
Respectfully.
Never say
That's
never.
fine.
Never say never. Why did we make this a JB conversation?
I don't- 'cause
Just
why
real
not?
quick, you just brought him up. And I was
JB
just-
or Ant long term?
And
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Edwards.
Ant Man. Yeah.
Oh,
Don't look at the game. Look at me.
sorry. And Edwards, he has a higher ceiling for sure.
No, I'm asking you. Who would you take?
For what, the Celtics?
To build the team.
To build the team, yeah. I mean, and ceiling's higher.
Okay. You're questioning it. I know.
I'm not. I mean, I'm just
ceiling's higher.
thinking about it.
But JB, I mean, he's showing like he's averaging 27. He could be an All-NBA player. Wouldn't be mad building it, but I don't think JB is going to be the best player in a championship team. Who knows if Ant
Somebody
will.
asked me an interesting question the other day. What would Tatum and JB's projection look like if they got drafted to a shit team instead of an okay team?
Like a great organization. Like the Celtics
Oh,
are
that
a
was a
great
fumble as
organization.
hell.
They were a terrible team.
Oh my!
Didn't they make the playoffs? Like,
Wait, what do you mean they were terrible?
They weren't good. When they made that trade, they didn't make the playoffs.
The next year they did, though.
No, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if they, like, I'm talking about a team that's like this dog shit. Like, I'm making the playoffs for like 2 or 3 years. What would their
And at the
projection
time
be?
Tatum got to the Celtics, they were a good team.
No, for sure. But that was his rookie season.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mhm.
Like, what a Jalen Green
Because
situation? or
JB
like,
got drafted the year before Tatum, correct?
yes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Just 1 year.
1 year.
Mhm.
His team still
JB
wasn't that
got
good.
drafted
It
to
wasn't.
the Isaiah Thomas 29 points per game season.
Yeah. The Vikings just got absolutely finessed for a second time. They should have got a fumble touchdown, and they called it down. It was such a clear fumble.
Somebody said in the comments, Cat and D-Book would be doing the same thing if they was in the same.
You're 100% right.
Sure.
You're 100% right. If they
in
got drafted,
what situation?
give me a
And
team.
Timberwolves?
Give me a team.
Okay.
Give me a team.
The
Houston,
Pistons.
let's say, Detroit.
Pistons, I think they'd be okay.
Really?
They're not the championship contender,
'Cause
no.
The team, yeah, we have a great team. It's
But
them,
I would
obviously.
I would
but
say
there's
that
been a roster
they
every
would be
year.
a playoff team.
Tatum was viewed as a hollow.
I was going to say
prospect.
Tatum's
Tatum,
going to
I
be a
think-
savage
He was also
anywhere
a third
he
overall
goes.
pick, though.
Tatum was,
Jalen Brown was someone who was
Tatum was the
more
most
raw.
polished
He was a
coming out.
project.
And the Pistons, didn't they make the playoffs with Blake?
That's why I said Houston. Like if he was in Jalen Green's spot,
Houston, I think, would be a good team too.
With JB.
How good
Playoff
are they
team.
individually?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like how was his?
I think their projections are similar.
similar.
Yep.
Also, great coaching. Had drafted and had Brad there. You know, it's a pretty
some
good
good vets
coach again.
there,
Yeah,
too.
for sure.
NBA's worst contracts. We each are going to pick a player at each position and talk about their contracts and why it's one of the worst in the NBA. So, Riv, I'm going to start out with you, and we can start off with point guard. So, you go point guard, you go point guard, I go point guard, and I go point guard. So, I'm going to do that.
So I did mine pretty much. I looked at their contract, looked at the players they're ranked around, and that's how I viewed it. And even though this guy is on a 1-year deal, I still view D'Lo as a horrible point guard contract. $31 million for a guy who got penciled in at the All-Star game because of an injury. I don't think he's never been a $30 million man.
I'll be quiet.
There's guys under him that are much
He
better
deserves
than him as
that.
players. And D'Lo for me, he's my point guard. I would have said Westbrook, but
We're doing just point guard, then
we're going
okay.
down. I would have said Westbrook, but I know somebody else was going to say it, so I'm gonna pick another guy. So
I mean,
D'Lo for me.
That's fair. I do have Westbrook because
There-
just
see,
it's
I know it.
$47 million. And he's not a starter right
I hope
now.
somebody says John Wall.
He's not a top 10 point guard in the league right now. So
He's
to
not
have
top
him
20.
be the second highest paid point guard in the league right now, that's where it's tough.
Where
for
you
me.
rank Westbrook?
In terms of point guards?
Yeah. 28,
No.
24.
I actually don't
Probably
think,
top 20.
I don't think D'Lo and Westbrook's contracts are bad because
$47 million.
47 is nuts.
but
It's
they're
top
on
two
they're on
point
an
guard.
expiring deal.
That's facts. Yeah, but still.
So
it's-
for me, the contract it's expiring. I'm gonna get off of it soon. So from a GM standpoint, if I were to trade for that contract, it's like, okay, after this year, I'm done, and I don't have to worry about him, right? I have 2 players that I think are on bad contracts. I'm gonna name one because I know Dehls. Maybe he has his player too. Maybe he doesn't. It's Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul has a horrible contract.
Wow.
This year he's getting paid $28 million. Next year it's $30 million, and then the season after that it's $30 million. Chris Paul,
It's not bad.
yeah, but Chris Paul
Tobias
right now,
Harris is making more than him.
yeah, but with how Chris Paul's playing right now, he's not worth this contract, not even close. And you're gonna be paying him until he's 39 years old, $30 million. I have a hard time believing that that's gonna age well. I think at the end of this year, we're gonna be talking about Chris Paul being more of a liability for the Suns than a asset. And at this big of a deal, there's nothing you can do with the contract.
Mine has to be Ben Simmons. I mean, this year he's getting 35 mil, 37 in
You would pick a
2023,
Nets guy.
40 million in 2024. You want to pay Ben Simmons this contract? He doesn't listen. If he's healthy,
That's been playing some
maybe-
good ball, man.
Yeah, but
How about you turn on the
wanna
television,
you don't want to be
man?
paying Ben $40 million. If you want to give him a 20, 30, 25 mil, okay, we could get behind that. $40 million, I mean, he's in the range of Kyrie, Jamal Murray, SGA's a little bit behind there, Trae Young's a little bit above him. But what are we talking
Dude,
about
this
here?
is
not who you wanna
fine. This
pay.
is fine. Curry's making more. Westbrook's making more.
What's his
Lillard's making
ranking
more.
in the league?
He's 7th.
7th.
Ben?
Yeah, 7th.
7th point guard. 7th
Point
highest
guard.
paid
Oh,
point guard.
Yeah.
I thought you meant
Like
player.
Jamal Murray is getting paid less.
Well, a lot of guys are on rookie deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Shea,
years 30. It's
Shea,
just come up.
De'Aaron Fox.
Chris Paul,
You like
Lowry,
his year?
Brunson.
Click year 2 or year 3.
He gets paid 37 next year and 40 next year.
click-
year.
That's it.
like year
Only
3.
2 players that are less than him deserve more.
So in 2024, in his final year, he will be the 5th highest paid player's position.
That's nuts. Yeah.
Trey Young, Luka, Dame, and Kirby, the only ones making more money.
Yeah, see, come
It's
on.
not a good contract. Like it's fine. He's improving. At least he's been able to be on the court this year, and he's had some stretches where he's played good, some stretches where he hasn't. But right now, I wouldn't want to be paying Ben this $35 to $40 million range.
You didn't mention the other player I had written down, so I'm going to mention him right now. A bad contract is Lonzo Ball. He's getting paid $20 million through 2025.
Are you serious?
He has a player
20
option.
million?
That's
But it's
nothing.
20
He's
Played-
Duncan Robinson's
he's
getting
played
18
a quarter
year.
of the games for the Bulls,
When he gets on the court, he's good. Duncan gets
But
on the
he's
court
not on
and
the
he's
court.
but.
but he's not on the court. Lonzo
You're a real
Ball's not on
stickler,
the
man.
court.
You're a stickler.
I'm paying somebody $20 million and they're not playing. That is a bad contract.
That's a stickler,
You have
man.
to be playing. John Wall, there's no doubt he was worth his money. It was a bad contract because he doesn't play. So Lonzo Ball not playing $20 million is steep.
20 is nothing.
If you're not playing,
If you're
it's a
not
lot.
playing, I feel
And
you.
he's not playing.
But
he might miss this entire year.
He could.
And he
It's
missed half
unfortunate.
of last year.
On to 2 guards.
Shooting guards.
I mean, I have Duncan Robinson. I've
I had
already.
Bradley Beal.
I had him as a small
I don't-
forward.
Duncan?
Duncan?
Yep.
Oh, is it too?
I had Bradley Beal.
I don't
I-
have
yeah,
Duncan
I-
as
Beal
a-
was
$50 million,
definitely number one.
and
It-
you're
it's
not
insane.
a top
It's
15 player in
insane.
the NBA. It's nuts. Arguably, is he top
You're
20?
being
Maybe?
mean. I don't like it.
No, it's mean,
don't
but
like
it's
it.
true.
It's true.
It's not that
If
true.
he wasn't the highest paid player at his position, if he was like the 4th or 5th, okay, but 50
It was his
mil?
time.
It was
Bro
his
said
time, but
his
that doesn't
time.
It was
that
his
doesn't
time
mean
to get paid.
That
No,
doesn't mean
Bradley
we can't
Beal's
look at it
contract is
now
one of
and
the
say
worst
it's a
in the
bad
NBA.
contract.
First of all, Bradley Beal is the 7th highest paid player in the NBA. What the
Yeah.
He's
fuck?
getting paid
Bradley Beal's
$57 million through
great.
2027.
Bradley Beal is great.
He better than AD?
No.
He gets paid 12 more than him.
I know,
Yeah,
because he
okay.
stayed on his squad.
He better than Luka?
He stayed on his squad. No, but Luka's going to
That's
have
still a
high
bad
rated
contract,
payday.
though.
It is.
Bradley Beal's is one of the. That is a
Giannis
top
stayed on his
3
What else do the
worst
Wizards
contract
have?
in the NBA.
What else were the Wizards supposed to do?
Let that man walk.
Let
Let
him
him
walk
go.
and
Let him
rebuild.
walk, really?
You said.
Did we
you
not just
agreed,
talk
let
about
him
this
walk.
with the Wolves?
Huh?
Did we not just talk about with this Wolves trade?
No, but
You're
I
stuck
didn't-
with Bradley Beal as your best player.
But that's I feel like this is a different situation. You stay with your players if you're the Wolves. The Wizards weren't in a position where if they let him walk, that's different. If you meant the Hornets, still,
He makes
then
more
that's
money
something
than-
different.
What do you
Devin
mean? What do you
Booker.
mean?
So you said that the Hornets let Kemba walk because they didn't want to have that contract on the team. I feel like if you're comparing that to Minnesota, they did the opposite. They didn't let one of their guys walk. I mean, who was gonna walk for them?
Wait, I'm talking about Washington, though.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm getting confused with the comparison of the Wizards and
The Hornets let Kemba walk because they
Correct.
knew he wasn't worth that contract.
Okay, so then that's
The
what I'm
Wizards
saying.
should have let Beal walk
There we
because
go.
he's
That's
not
what I'm
worth that
saying.
contract.
If you want to compare it, then it has to be the Hornets and the Wizards. But it's not like the Hornets got any better after they let Kemba walk. They were fortunate to get LaMelo.
That's how they got LaMelo, though.
They've made the play-in 2 times. That's been their
Washington
ceiling.
done anything?
No, they made the playoffs legitimately.
That's more of an
As the eighth
organization
seed.
issue, though. That's them not being able, like other teams, like we saw the Celtics. be
Like
able
Beal
to
is
rebuild
still
right
a
away.
great basketball player.
His
Is he
contract
not?
stinks, though. It's okay.
The Wizards were put in a tough position. They had no choice.
I let
They
his
should have
ass walk.
traded him.
Oh, they had a choice.
They should have
They
traded
chose
him.
the wrong choice.
They chose the wrong choice. Yeah,
They
correct.
should have traded him.
Another guy, Klay Thompson. Oh my God. Woo! 40 mil is crazy.
You guys won a championship,
So
and he was
Contract-
solid.
We're not going to talk Zach LaVine.
he was gonna do it.
Oh, Zach
Oh.
LaVine is on a bad
Okay.
contract.
Zach
Definitely
LaVine-
gonna just let
Zach
him.
LaVine's
Now go bring that
contract,
up.
No, yeah,
it could be better.
But I think
it's-
Beal's is worse.
He's getting more.
I like
Yeah,
Beal.
he's getting
I feel like I'm not
significant
mad
more,
at it.
honestly.
You're not mad at $50
You're
million
not
to
mad.
Bradley Beal.
I mean, he
true.
stayed loyal to his squad. He was an All-NBA player.
Stop.
We have to be
Why?
objective here.
I'm being
It's not-
objective.
No, he
He stayed loyal to
sure,
the
he
money.
deserved the money.
Okay, and so
He didn't
what
stay
though?
Loyal. He stayed loyal to the money. It's
What's
okay.
wrong with that?
You said he stayed loyal to his team, though. Let's
It-
not
it was
cap here.
both.
No, it was not. What are you loyal to? The difference between him and loyalty is very different. There's nothing to stay loyal to in Washington. Nothing.
I mean, he likes the city. Clearly,
You think so?
he would have left if he didn't.
I think
Well,
he
left
had
this guy
nowhere to
50 a
go,
year.
realistically.
You're not. Yeah, players are not eligible for Supermax if they go somewhere else.
And,
I
and then
understand
you got to
that.
remember that free agents market. There was not many teams that can really
See,
go
but the
get
thing
him.
is, how many players have turned down Supermax deals to go to other teams? A lot of
But
players.
the smart teams that know it's not worth it for them don't give them the deal.
I mean, the only players
We're
what,
looking.
What do you mean by that?
We're looking at this.
KD left, LeBron left, AD left.
KD couldn't get a supermax.
Well, OKC he could have.
Oh, yes. Well, no,
Like,
I
for
don't think
example,
supermax was a thing back in then.
It was.
No, it wasn't. It just became a thing like in 2013 or 2015.
Well, that was
because
2016.
they wanted small market teams to be competitive.
It was 2016, 2017.
That's when KD left.
Check when it happened because it's a recent thing. It's not it's not a thing that's been around for a long time.
But I just say that there have been players that have decided I would rather not take the Supermax deal and I would rather leave because it gives me a better
2021,
chance.
2022. Whenever Steph got his first supermax contract.
So yeah, it wasn't eligible for KD then.
Yeah, it wasn't eligible for KD. It was like
Russ got his,
2019,
though.
2020. That's when it began.
Right.
But it's two different ones though because there's a max deal and then the super max.
Yeah, that's their all NBA kicker.
You get a pay, you get a upgrade in pay
John Wall.
if you stay loyal. But then the NBA recently came out with the super max where, oh my gosh, they get paid so much more money.
Same.
I mean, that was
Yes.
Rudy Gobert.
But we're talking about this from the eyes of a GM and a front office person. The Bradley Beal is arguably a top 3 worst contract in the NBA.
Might be one.
If you're the Wizards, what else do you have going for you?
What do you have going for you now?
Hilarious how all
I don't
the
disagree.
shooting guards got the worst contracts. Him, Zach.
The
Clay.
Wizards have the same thing going for them
Where are they
now
right
as
now
they
in the
did
standings?
last year when they didn't
They're under the
pay
Bulls.
Beal.
And they're not great.
They're under the Bulls.
They're not
I'll
great.
tell you
The
that.
Wizards?
They're a
Yes.
poorly
you
run
guys have a-
organization.
Yeah.
Is that everybody's shooting guards?
Well, we
Yeah,
got
we said Duncan,
Bradley, Zach.
Bradley.
Did you guys get a power forward?
I did.
I did, yeah.
Tobias Harris.
I have Tobias as a small forward. Sorry, man.
So small forward, next position, you had Duncan Robinson.
I
No,
had
small
Gordon-
forward, I had Tobias Harris.
I had Gordon
Okay.
Hayward.
Gordon Hayward. That's
he-
it.
Gordon Hayward's a bad
30
contract
mil,
also.
barely, like, what he says with Lonzo Ball. Barely plays, doesn't play, always injured.
Really
Yeah,
not a
Tobias is
ton
getting
of-
37 mil a season to not even average 20 points a game. His efficiency is there, but he's
It's
one of the
roll.
most
It's roll.
fair.
You said what?
No, Tobias would average 20 if he's a second option on the
Wait,
team.
would you say it's roll?
But last
It's
year,
roll.
no,
What does
it's
that
his role.
Like the
it's
reason
roll.
why he doesn't
Oh,
average
oh,
20 is roll.
Yeah. Yeah, if he was getting paid like 18 mil, we would not care about Tobias.
What about Michael Porter's contract?
Oh, that's bad.
That is a bad contract also.
I mean, he's
But when he's on the
average
court,
is
he's a
35.
dog.
Yeah, average 35 a year. He's going to get up to 40.
Should we have Jordan Poole on this list?
You're a fucking hater.
I'm just wondering.
He doesn't get paid yet. So
He's
no.
only 12.
He got 140, right?
Not yet.
He's
Next
getting
year.
paid
soon.
around where he should.
Yeah, it kicks in.
Yeah.
He's mid.
And Michael
Sure.
Porter. But honestly, there's not a ton of terrible contracts at the small forward position.
When I look at the small forward position, you mentioned Duncan Robinson. He was my small forward. I have 2 more. One of them is Norman Powell. He's getting paid $20 million through 2026. Norman Powell is a defensive liability. He's inconsistent offensively, and there have been stretches where Ty Lue has just flat out benched him, and he's getting paid $20 million through 2026. I think that's an awful contract, and I'm going to throw in DeAndre Hunter in here. $24 million
Even though
through
he just got it?
2026. He did just get it, but injuries are always a concern with him. He's not consistent enough defensively or offensively, and he, health is a concern with him. So I think that contract is not the best contract either. He's getting paid around, I guess, like all-star caliber level money, and I don't think he's that. Domantas Sabonis makes less, and I think Sabonis is a significantly better player than Hunter.
That makes sense. What about we throw a name at you, Jamal Murray,
That has the potential to be bad.
CJ McCollum.
I think that will age fine because he's with the Pelicans.
He's getting paid 33.
Yep.
Okay. Just a few guards that's up here.
And for power forwards, we mentioned Cat earlier. I think Cat's on a horrible contract. But I'm going to put another Atlanta Hawk. I think John Collins.
Ooh, that's a good
$25
one.
million through 2025. He's averaging 12 points per game. I mean, come on. I need more for somebody playing 20-plus mil, too.
He's been hurt
That's
also.
a good one. That's a good one. I like. I put Tobias Harris, but that's also a good one. I like that one. He's definitely at the top of my list.
What about Jonathan Isaac?
I was just clicking. Yeah,
How much he gets
17
paid?
mil.
Yeah, he's getting 17.
He hasn't played in like
He gets
2
he
years.
gets 17 like flat throughout the next 3 or 4
He has
years.
to be up there just because he doesn't play.
Yeah, that's not great.
Nicholas Batum at 19 mil.
I don't
That-
want to
that
be
could
rude.
age bad.
I don't want to be rude to Julius Randle because he's been playing well
Uh-oh.
recently. So I'll say I won't mention him. I won't.
25.
Oh, you
25
shouldn't.
I mean,
It's not
25.
that bad of a contract.
25 is
It's not.
pretty firm for what he's been doing.
And then at center, it's Rudy Gobert for me.
I have Gobert.
Just he's making 30 to 46 million through 2026
I also.
for a center that's going to average 15 and
What
12
about,
or 12 and 12.
Ayton?
That's yep.
Ayton, the reason why I didn't have him there is because DeAndre Ayton, I know exactly what I'm going to get from him.
Still up in the air with
Which is why I'm fine with that contract. You know what you're going to get from Ayton. It's going to be 17 and 10. He's going to play good defensively. He's reliable.
Okay.
Mitchell Robinson. You still cool with that?
He's getting paid like 11 mil
He's actually
17.
a steal.
a year. No, this year, but like the next
Yeah,
couple years,
it goes down.
it's like 11 12
Mitch
mil,
is a
yeah.
steal. I'm not
Yeah,
even
Mitch
gonna front.
is a
Mitch
steal of
is a
contract.
steal.
Don't hit on my Knicks, baby.
I'm not
Don't hit on my
I'm not
Knicks.
the
What are you
biggest Mitch
doing?
guy.
What about Kyle Lowry? 28 mil, 29 mil next year.
It's up soon, no?
Next year.
Okay,
Last
yeah.
year.
That's not terrible then. You get
That
out of
could
it
age
next year.
poorly for
Yeah.
sure.
But you could get off that contract this offseason probably if you had to.
For who?
An expiring deal?
No, he has one more year.
And I'm saying so next year he'll be
Next year he's
next year
playing
he'll
for
have
the Heat.
1 year. Yeah.
Yeah, then it's done.
But I'm saying if you attach a pick to him to get it off, a rebuilding team maybe.
Kyle Lowry.
I'm saying you'd have to attach a pick
That
to
boy
get off
damn
him on an
near
expiring
40.
deal.
Yeah,
It could.
he's old as shit.
He's been playing well this season.
No, he has. He's just
Yeah.
old as shit.
He
So
is.
before we go on to this week in the NBA, Boom Fantasy Picks, today is a big time day. It's a
It
big
is.
time game. Dolphins versus Buffalo Bills. My goodness.
Bunch of snow already.
This is a lot of agendas are they're holding on to a thin rope with this game right here.
Mhm.
And I have these 3 Boom Fantasy picks.
Have to make those
These
three.
are my picks. Tua Tagovailoa, over or under 236.5 passing yards. What do you guys think?
How much? 236.
Mhm.
Under.
Yeah.
This is my first time being under. I'll take the under. It's snowing. It's cold. It's chilly.
You know, last
They're
time
gonna run the ball a lot.
last time
hopefully.
he missed some of the game and still almost had that number. I'm gonna go over.
I'm going under on this one. Josh
Shocker.
Allen, 236.5 passing yards.
They have the same line, right?
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
I think I might go under too.
So there's also a matchup in there who will have more passing yards, Josh Allen or Tua.
I'd rather take that. I would take Josh Allen. Snow. I mean, this is for me. This is Joshy's weather.
It is.
So
It is.
so
I'm going
been
with
playing-
Josh Allen
He's been
over.
playing mid recently.
he's getting
But the
wins.
Dolphins defense is not good. I'm going over.
And now this the last pick. I made 3 picks to 6x your money. Gabe Davis, over or under 37.5 receiving yards.
I'll take the over.
37.5. How the mighty have fallen.
Gabriel.
Is he getting 1,000?
He's
There's
close.
a chance. This could be
The way
a
that weather looking,
200-yard
though.
game. He just needs a 200-yard game.
36.
That's the way he gets to
So
it.
he needs
guys.
200 for the season, for the rest of the season, right?
He needs about like 300.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm going to go over. I trust in Gabriel Davis.
Never in
I
doubt.
think he has a bounce back this game.
Bounce back from
And
the last
he
month and a half.
gets and he gets closer to that 1,000 number.
Oh, man, it's
Now I
gonna come
saw
down the
you
wire.
looking at your phone, Drew. You got some Boom Fantasy picks?
I was looking to see if anything really intrigued me, because I like to do the favorites and I like to do the long shots, but nothing really is catching my eye. I would have loved to see a long shot for J.K. Dobbins. I feel like J.K. Dobbins. If you guys have been following me on Twitter at Handrew5As, the question of the week has been J.K. Dobbins or Nick Chubb in fantasy. I've really been struggling with that one. I feel like I'm going to end up going with Nick Chubb because he's just been the guy all season. Yeah, no, he houses it.
Oh my.
Yeah, he
God.
houses it. Dalvin's insane.
Minnesota just came back from 33
Yeah,
nothing.
Yeah, 33-0.
That means Matt Ryan got a chance to get a
Jesus
game-winning drive.
I'm gonna keep it. No, is that it? Is Dalvin?
You have to
Yeah,
get the
he's
2-point
nuts.
conversion, though,
He's
right?
nuts.
Hey, Jettis hit 100.
Yeah, he did have
Let's go.
100.
That's huge.
Yeah, so that's been a huge question for me. I think I'm gonna go with Chubb, but I do believe JK is gonna have a really good game. And another
Jeff
report.
Saturday wants this job full time. Sorry.
I did see that. No, he's screwed. But it's not like Minnesota's bad, but the Colts are bad.
33 nothing at half, bro. There's no reason.
No,
to
no,
lose this
absolutely.
game.
He might get fired after today's game. I feel like it came out reports that the Browns wanted to throw the ball deep, and Amari Cooper really has struggled since Deshaun has come into the offense. So I feel like I'm going to take a gamble on Deshaun. I feel like right now, Deshaun and the Browns offense as a whole. The Ravens' secondary isn't great. Their rush defense has been really good. Against running backs, they've been 5th best, and that's why I've been hesitant with Nick Chubb. But I'm gonna I'll take my chance on Deshaun and Amari Cooper. I feel like I like those odds right there. Who, Jettas or Osborne? Hawkinson?
Hawkinson.
Hate to see that.
Tied it up 36-36. Jesus.
And right now, we have 342 people in the stream right now. Make sure you guys like the stream. Let's get it to 200. And we're going to have the Boom Fantasy QR code right here on the screen. So you guys can download Boom Fantasy, put in your picks in for tonight's game. That helps us out a lot. This week in the NBA.
Shut us, masterclass.
Go.
Now, for me, I have 3 this week in the NBA.
All right, so I'll go first.
There's a lot of things that happening this week in the NBA.
No, I don't disagree at all. Lakers have been playing some really good basketball. That's really what I want to highlight. We spoke about the Celtics game a little bit earlier, but to go in depth a little bit more into that, it was one of the best games I've saw all season. One of the best games I've seen in the regular season in some time, honestly. Lakers were down 20. We looked terrible in the first half. The Celtics could do no wrong. But then the third quarter comes, and we just flip a switch. The defense that we played was absolutely fantastic. Towards the end of the third into the early fourth, we went on an 18-0 run, completely deleted that 20-point lead. There was a point in time where the Celtics did not score the basketball in almost 7 minutes. The Lakers were playing unbelievable defense. We were getting out in transition. We really couldn't be stopped. Credit to Russell Westbrook, because the defense that he played in that entire second half was phenomenal. He was great. It's just unfortunate that we don't have shooting, and he's forced to play in lineups that he should not be put into in those situations, and it's allowing people to scrutinize his game. You cannot scrutinize Russ for the level of play that he displayed in this game. And then with 4 minutes left, the Lakers are up 13 points. Somehow, some way, we end up blowing that lead. We end up going into OT. The Lakers are now 0-4 in games that we go in overtime. And I had a feeling, man. I tweeted it just before the overtime started. I said we needed to close this one. How do you go from being down 20 to up 13 and you find a way to lose that game? Here's the way. Anthony Davis plays the entirety of the second half in OT. LeBron James basically plays the entirety of the second half in OT. I think he came in with 6 minutes left in the third, similar with Russ. These guys should not have these minutes taxed on their bodies this early into the season. And how are you losing a game like that? If you can't keep the momentum in a situation like that, it's hard for me to see what can happen. But there's positives. Our defense is legit. We need shooting. That's another takeaway that you can take from that. But when we are on and we are playing at this level, we can be competitive with any team. The Nuggets have been playing great basketball recently. AD goes out early in the game, and we still win by double digits against the Nuggets. The Lakers are becoming underrated. I come onto this. It's true. It's true. What's wrong with that statement?
You're a 12 seed. How are you underrated?
Because we're playing great basketball against great teams. Right now, our record does not display the level of basketball we've been playing. And if you want to keep highlighting the record, that's on you. But we're playing significantly better than our record says.
Okay, you are.
And LeBron, 3 games in a row, 30 points.
Oh, man.
Refs be folding, man. Refs be folding.
You want to go?
Yo, but before this, because I've been praising AD to no end this season. 2 games back-to-back against Philly and the Celtics. The fact that he can't put the game away at the line really hurts because this man is basically automatic from the free throw line. And in the biggest moment of the game, both Philadelphia and the Celtics, he chokes it.
What'd you say, John?
John?
He's editing his video.
Oh, he didn't say anything.
What'd you say? I thought you said something like you.
You're good.
All right, I have 2 because I have to read one. I made a bet because I saw Udonis Haslam starting a game.
Bro, that was nuts.
Yeah, this shit is getting bad over
He
there.
put up like 2-0-1 or some shit.
So this week in the NBA is a shout out to your boy Knicks Miami Heat win over the Rockets. Hero played amazing, 41 points, 10-15 from the 3-point line. Himi played great too, 20 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists, and 3 blocks. Damn. But the biggest part of the win was the vet. Udonis Haslam made his 501st career start and was just a force to reckon with, not giving up and arguing with the refs. Miami And then yeah, that was fucking nuts reading that, I won't lie. And then my other this week in the NBA, Kawhi Leonard having his first 25-point game
vintage.
in
He was vintage against
3
us.
years.
Yeah.
You know, it was
He
just
was
I'm not gonna.
Was he 10 for 12? Something
Yeah,
like
I'm
that?
not
Something
gonna
stupid?
go on the limb and shit talk you because I'm just happy to see Kawhi back on the court playing good basketball. That's all you ask for. You want these guys to be healthy because it gives us the best entertainment in the world. And the game was good. The game was solid. Just seeing Kawhi go out there and do Kawhi things, it was nice to see. So I'm not gonna shit talk the Celtics today.
Appreciate
I'm in a
that.
good
You're growing
mood.
as a man.
Yeah, you're
growing.
I'm chilling. But it was just nice to see Kawhi have a great game. So that was my this week in the NBA.
I actually had a draft while I was watching that Celtics game, and it was right around the 4-minute mark, basically saying, like, I understand it's a back-to-back. We're on the West Coast, but you have to. I was ready to send this tweet basically just scrutinizing the Celtics, saying, how do you lose this game? And then I think Tatum might have hit 1-3, and I was like, all right, let me just put this in the drafts for now.
He hit the 3,
and
then they turned it over, and then Marcus Smart just laid it up. I was just like,
the steal, the inbound, my this week in the NBA, though, the Phoenix Suns have lost, 6 out of their last 7 now? They were the 1st seed last week, and now all of a sudden they are the 4 seed, 2.5 games out of first. To be fair, they played some tough opponents, Dallas, Celtics, the Pels twice, did lose to the Rockets, but had a bounce-back game last night. Or a few nights ago, Thursday, against the Clippers. So the Suns, we talked about this, the Western Conference as a whole, it just takes one bad week to go from the 1st seed to now they're the 4th seed. The Pels were the 1st seed for a little bit. Now the Grizzlies are the 1st seed. So it really just goes to show how tight this Western Conference is. And yes, to our credit, I guess, who were all lower on the Suns, they started off really hot these first couple of months. Now they're cooling down a bit. So it definitely been a rough week for them. Lost in overtime to the Pelicans after losing the night before, both on the road. These are games against the Mavericks and Pelicans, not so much the Rockets, but these are potential playoff teams that you're going to be seeing in a 7-game series. So to lose these type of games, although early in the season, not a great sign because of Chris Paul now playing to the caliber we're used to. Devin Booker's, of course, him. But overall, probably not the most encouraging sign if you're a Phoenix fan.
My this week in the NBA is simple and easy. The Knicks 6-game win streak against the Cavs, the Hawks, the Hornets, the Kings, and the Chicago Bulls, right? The Bulls suck. We know that. Not a good team. It's a shame, Riv didn't believe the play-in allegations, but they're even less than the play-in. The Bulls are just not good. As simple as that. Not a very good team. Julius Randle in this win streak's averaging 27, 11, 4. There's a reason I bought his jersey, because he could play at this level. When he's determined and he's locked in, he could play at this level. But I think the biggest reason for our winning is Quentin Grimes. Ever since he's been in the lineup, we have been winning. He's 9-5. He's not. The Knicks are 9-5 when he starts in the lineup. He's automatic from the 3-point line, and he's a lockdown defender. DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, they got nothing on Q Grimes. They can't get a bucket on him.
DeMar like 40
Q Grimes is a different type of defender, and neither of those mid-level players can do nothing against Q Grimes.
I didn't want to be rude, but that's why I was laughing.
He's been stroking it though, Grimes.
No, he has, but he said Quentin DeMar had like 40, and RJ's guarding him most of the time. So it's.
What about Zach LaVine?
The simple and easy line before saying the Knicks 6-game win streak, it was hilarious. It was hilarious, especially for the fact that, again, you just came out recently and said,
I don't want to say names.
They're playing better, and I've been watching them as of recently. RJ Bear's playing better.
You've been able to get over those humps to all the blackouts. All of a sudden, being able to find it.
3-4 days ago, he has not watched.
He said no problem watching Knicks games. There's been blackouts, and he can't do on YouTube TV.
Nets games.
Now it's valid.
Nets
I needed some.
That's know what streamistas.
I needed some positivity and excitement to watch them. RJ Bear's playing better. That tough love I had on him. I'm not backing on RJ.
Yeah, well, look, I couldn't even say about the Jets because we are good, and he actually jumped ship. But
that tough love I had on RJ worked. I guarantee you saw that video and said I got to pick up my play up because there's no way I got.
RJ Bear probably hates you.
PJ Washington. And also, I want to shout out the Houston Rockets. My guy, Jabari Smith, Jalen Green, Şengün. Man, that's a big 3 brewing in Houston that people ain't talking about. Because Jabari Smith, in the last 10 games, is averaging 13 points and 7.5 rebounds, shooting 44% from 3. That shot is finally falling. Jalen Green in his wins, 27 points per game, top 10 in the NBA. Jalen Green, when he's got it going, he's a problem. And he's averaging almost 4 assists this year. He's been really good as a passer. And then Şengün. Şengün is somebody that they underutilize in Houston. He's averaging 2 assists, but I feel like he can easily average 4 to 6 assists per game if he's in the right offensive system. Whenever he has the ball, things go right. And then my last one, Nicholas Claxton, Kevin Durant, and Yuta Watanabe. Watanabe this season shooting 73% on corner 3-point shots. Damn. He's an elite level shooter this year, something they lacked last year.
Throw Kyrie in that conversation. Since he's come back, they barely lose.
Yeah, and Kyrie Irving just hit that game win on the Toronto Raptors. If the Celtics face the Nets, it's going to be a different series. It's going to look a whole lot different.
Yeah, the Nets winning.
That's all. Yes, they'll win.
That's all I needed to hear.
They're winning now?
Because guess what?
They
have easy money sniper.
They did have
That's what they have.
It would be
easy money.
It'd be a very good series.
It would be.
It would be.
I said
it'd be a very good series.
I also said you guys win in 6.
I don't feel as confident. as I did last year.
And then KD and Claxton.
They're better this year.
Opponents are making just 61% of their attempts at the rim
we forget they were
versus
one
the
seed last
Nets.
year? Around this stretch, the Nets were one seed last
but then they
year.
got hurt.
KD got hurt. Yeah.
Same thing happened
It's
again.
a different
No,
team.
I don't disagree.
It's a different team.
But they're playing
But yeah, defensively now
They're playing different mindset of basketball right now.
Sure.
And Steve Nash is no longer
The
coaching.
Nets
All I'm
right
saying
now-
is just pump the brakes.
No,
Okay.
for sure.
How about we go all gas, no breaks?
You want to?
Shout out Salah.
I'm not going to do that. That's what
He
Joel's
already
doing.
did. He just said Nets over Boston.
I'm in cruise control right now.
What
So
I mean.
Boston in 6 still, Boston in 7.
Boston, I was still favored Boston for sure.
Oh, but what
I think
mean
you
is
have
different.
He wants to flip so quick.
I think you have your
you.
facts.
I seen it in your face.
not me.
I think you have your facts wrong about last year them being the first seed.
No, they were the one seed at one point in time.
Yeah.
You're right. They were. Then
I know.
KD got injured.
Yeah, I
if
know.
KD doesn't get hurt, they'll be fine. And KD's been looking healthier this year. I think he'll be good. But the Nets right now, they're the best team at protecting the rim in basketball. This team is elite defensively. Jacque Vaughn, 16-7 since taking the Nets job. These Jacque Vaughn Nets is different.
Jacque Vaughn's
They're different.
very, very good for this team.
Should have fired Nash in the offseason.
So they're not bringing in Ime. That's dead.
no.
It should be dead at this point. Yeah.
Looks like we got overtime for this Minnesota game.
Jacque Vaughn is a good coach. He's a hell of a coach. You better stop sleeping on them Nets, man.
I'm not.
Don't sleep on them Nets.
I've literally said for the past week, 2 weeks, whatever, the Nets have been playing well. They're right now. I'm taking
They
the
could
Bucks over
challenge
them.
you.
I'm
Yo,
taking the Celtics.
And I'm taking the Bucks over the Celtics.
Okay,
That was
fine.
smoke,
I'm not
know that.
surprised you hate the Celtics.
You know that.
You're a Celtics
The
hater.
Bucks was smoky out.
And I'm sure like 5 months from now when we beat the Nets or the Bucks forever, we'll be like, I told you, Dehls, told you about Tatum. Don't play with them boys. And I'll remember this right now, taking all the.
So
it's
you
cool.
think you're beating Giannis?
I would take us over
Because I've
anybody
seen
in
the
the
Celtics
East,
be on a
yes.
little bit of a slump recently.
Oh no, we're what 4-2 in our last 6, 4-3 in our last 7.
You lost 3 your last 4.
Oh God!
And you only won because you come back against the Lakers.
Our last 4, yes. We
Stop
lost 3
playing.
last 4.
Facts.
Yeah, we're fucked. Oh no!
Jalen Brown's ball handling is
Load up.
iffy.
Load up. You're
Blow it up.
You know, Jalen Brown forced him left. He's not doing nothing left. It's a pull-up jump shot left. That's what the
no.
Warriors did on him.
We're screwed.
Stop playing, man.
We're 6-10.
I think they
We're
can get
6 and
the
4 in
Warriors.
our last 10. I think we should.
The
just
Bucks and Nets.
throw
That's the
away
conference
whole
finals.
season.
Time for a lottery. Go for
Bless
the lottery, bro.
Bless you, bro.
Thank you.
The Bucks and Nets conference finals this year.
22-8.
Philly's out.
Oh, Philly can jump right back in it. Because James Harden's playing well.
He is. Embiid's playing very well with an injury,
Embiid's an
too.
MVP right now, too. And Tyrese Maxey's not even back
What's
yet.
Embiid average? Is it 33?
Yeah,
He's at
33.
league
He's such a
scoring now.
nutcase,
Don't
bro.
don't
throw
ever.
merchant.
So you're back in the
Don't
Nets
ever
train. I mean,
respect
the Sixers train.
Oh, they've been playing very well. I'm very,
He just goes off and on the train. When they're
I'm
bad,
very
he's off. When they're
optimistic.
good, they're back on.
I'm very optimistic about the Sixers. I still don't trust
You
Doc
know, only
Rivers.
one team come out of the East.
Literally.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And only
Okay.
2 can go to
But
the
guess
ECS.
what? If the Nets or the Sixers come out, I will be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Because I
No,
want
that's
Harden
facts.
to win a championship. I just read a interview about James Harden he did with Fox Sports. It was an amazing article. I loved it. From the first sentence to the last sentence. It was
Of
amazing.
course you did.
James Harden, I want him to win a championship. There's no doubt.
And PJ.
But
PJ's on the
I'm
roster.
telling you
I mean,
something.
he's one, but
I'll tell you something right now. Something I want more than the Celtics elimination.
who would you rather have?
That's
who would you
nasty.
rather have
That's
eliminate
nasty.
the Celtics, the Nets or the Sixers?
Nets 100%.
Okay.
100%.
Even if that means the Sixers like aren't there.
Oh yeah, that's
If like
fine.
only one of the, I guess if only one of those 2 teams could go and beat the Celtics and go to the chip.
the Nets
The Nets
Yeah.
over your boy Harden.
over my boy Harden. Yeah.
Wow.
Because because I also feel like KD deserves a champion. Well, no, not deserves because you don't deserve nothing. But I think KD needs a
what's
championship
hilarious?
by himself to solidify himself. So guys like Riv, stop saying he's not legendary.
You know what's
He's got some
hilarious? He
legendary moments on
said,
him.
you asked him, who would you be more excited to win, the Nets or the Sixers? He said Nets, 100%.
No, he said to beat Boston.
He hasn't
But
mentioned
beat Boston
the
and go
Knicks
to chip.
one time just
No.
now, like at
Well,
all.
no,
Like
the
not
Knicks aren't
once.
doing it.
Yeah, but it's just like so funny to me because the
You
Knicks
don't
are
mention
losing.
the Bulls when you talk about Golden State going to the championship.
No, but I also always mention the Bulls suck. I've actually said it a lot this year.
A ton.
Yeah, I'm very
Probably every show.
and I watch my team play, even though they're not good. I watch games of my team.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. You don't talk about the Bulls when you talk about the Warriors.
We have a
When
warrior
we
topic.
talking about contenders right now.
But then
we have a warrior topic.
why would I talk about the Knicks?
To Riv's
Why'd I
defense,
mention
not
the
that
Knicks?
I'm not picking this out here. That being said, it's very hard to mention the Warriors and the Bulls in the same sense.
It's hard to mention
Not
almost
for the
anybody.
fact
in
that
the
they're not
Warriors.
as good,
Same thing
but
for the
because
Knicks and
Western
Nets,
Conference,
Knicks
Eastern
and
Conference,
Sixers.
Knicks and Nets, same conference, same conference.
different
Different
tomato
teams.
teams.
They're not. One's a contender. One's not.
But I only say the Warriors are on the West, Bulls are in the East.
No,
Barely.
it's different.
They're never-
tiers.
so why would you talk about it in the same sense?
The difference is he doesn't watch the
I'ma
Knicks.
be
He told us
honest,
5
I'ma
days
be
ago he
honest.
doesn't watch the Knicks, and
I'ma
now that
be
they're
hon- I'ma
winning,
be honest,
he's a
Riv.
Knicks fan again. It's just very random to me.
Riv, people in the comments know I'm a Knicks fan.
They just said
They
you're
don't.
not allowed
They
in the
don't.
Knicks.
They don't
They
know.
no,
They
scroll
don't
up.
know you're a Bulls
No,
fan.
scroll up.
People will ask, "What fan are you of?" They don't know what you're a fan of.
No, scroll up.
They will. They will.
Joel can't talk as a Knicks fan. You literally can't talk. Scroll up.
They don't know you're a
I just
Bulls
asked the
fan.
chat. We're gonna see.
Sure,
That I'm a Knicks fan.
I'm just gonna
What
say
do
who
you-
do
It's
you
what do
root
you-
for?
obvious I'm a Knicks
Like
fan.
I feel like
You have a
people
Harden
see
beard, and you had a whole Nets jersey and a Nets
and
I'm
your
a
beard.
biggest
James Harden.
You're
agenda
caught
was
in
the
4K.
Wolves.
They got you in
You were
4K.
on 4K on the big screen. Sitting there at the
I was
Nets
repping
game.
James Harden.
But the Nets
That's
hat,
my guy.
People saw that.
It was cold outside. I needed something to protect my head.
Nah, he's nuts. You were in the building.
It was cold in the building, bro.
You said it was cold outside.
It was cold outside. That's why I bought the beanie.
Yeah.
I had to walk back to my car.
Yeah, nobody's saying the Knicks, bro.
No,
I
not
won't
a,
lie.
not,
Not
a soul.
not a
is
soul.
in the Knicks.
They call you
It's
flip
pretty
aside.
easy. It's pretty easy.
doesn't matter.
It's pretty easy to tell I'm a Knicks fan. With
How?
you mention the Bulls one time a year, bro. You never mention the Bulls.
But it's if anything, it's evident that I'm a Warriors fan.
I know.
But it's not evident you're a Knicks fan because on a day
Damn,
you could
Joel.
you can be a Knicks
The
fan.
comments
you
did
could
not
be a
show
Nets.
out
Yeah,
for
you're
you,
not.
man.
It's not here for you,
It
buddy.
didn't show out for you.
I have an agenda for every team.
That's rude. Riv's he's being
No, but
Yo,
we
he's
know.
being-
We
Because
know.
Riv
He's being
sees the-
messy.
Riv
He's
sees
being-
how the tables have
if
turned.
anything, Riv's a Warriors fan. People will acknowledge him as a Warriors fan,
That's
Yeah.
facts.
not
for
a
sure.
Bulls
But
fan.
on days you could be a Harden fan, then you'll be a Sixers fan, then you're Nets, then you're back to the Knicks, then you're back to the Sixers. then
Timberwolves
you're on
for
the
2
Nets,
months.
Then Timberwolves
Yeah.
for a week or two. Then you flip flop over here. Now you're a Pels guy. You wasn't a Pels guy before. Now you're back to the Tims. Then you wasn't a Tims guy again.
I'm not going to speak on it. I'm not speaking on that. We had an agreement.
It's very, very, very jumpy.
Do you want to live up to that agreement now?
That's funny. You're not calling me a Pels guy. I've called the Pels prediction for like a year now.
What do you mean?
Listen,
What do you mean? How do you
we
call
can-
the prediction
hey,
for a year?
Joel, you can have me on your side right now, but we have to go through with the agreement.
Oh yeah, sure. We can agree on it.
All right, go ahead. Go through with it.
So since last year, I've said that the Pelicans, when Zion's healthy, can make a Ja Morant like Memphis leap, and that's what they've done this season.
I'm talking about our agreement.
Yeah,
All
and
right, what's our oh, thank you.
And Drew, it's obvious Drew owns a Pelicans jersey. He owns a Zion jersey. He's been high on Zion since he's come out of college.
So
he knew Zion was going to be the guy. You doubted Zion. You ain't know Zion's going to be that guy.
Because I picked.
You said
over him.
Draymond Green was better than him. I remember that. And I had JC come up here and stamp that.
I said
that you
Draymond was more
Draymond was
impactful?
better than Zion.
I said Draymond
He's
was
not
more
even more
impactful.
impactful than Zion.
Wait, so we're
Stop
doing-
playing.
wait,
Is
so we're
Draymond more
stop
impactful
playing.
than Zion?
Right now, no. Well, on over.
Oh my God.
So wait, we're doing this. We're doing the
Annoying.
jersey thing, right? Because you have a Rockets jersey. Are you a Rockets fan?
Oh, James Harden Rockets jersey.
Are you a Rockets fan?
Did I not just mention 3 Rockets players and Jalen Green, Şengün,
So
and
I'm
Jabari
asking.
Smith?
So you're a Rockets fan.
They're a team that I wish the best for.
So you're a Rockets.
There are
fan.
teams that the Knicks I'm a fan of. That's my team. But there are teams I wish the best for. The Rockets.
Yo, you're
James Harden.
disgusting,
James
bro.
Harden left Houston,
First
but
of
I
all,
wish the best for
Roughing the
Houston.
passer.
Screaming.
Go.
I wish the best for Houston because they let my
I'm
boy
feeling him.
leave.
I'm feeling him on this.
I'm not surprised.
I'm not
What?
surprised either. I ain't gonna lie.
He wants the best for him. What's wrong with that?
Yeah.
You don't want the best
That's
for
such a
Curry?
weak call, to be honest.
You don't want the best for Paul George?
Oh,
You
yeah,
know what the
it's fair.
difference is?
That's the perfect example, Paul George. Because Paul George left Indiana, went to OKC. Left OKC, went to the Clippers.
I want the best.
You want the
closure.
best for him.
But I
Even
watch,
though he's went, I'm not that.
I
that
watch
has,
my
but that has
teams
nothing.
play.
That has nothing to do with the case right now.
You can't be a Knicks fan. You don't watch a game.
All right, if we're gonna talk about the Knicks, I don't disagree. If we're gonna talk about the Knicks, I don't
You got
disagree.
caught on 4K on playback.
If
I don't watch. I don't watch Knicks.
You shouldn't have said that.
There's
No,
a
we need that
reason.
clip
There's
to
a
play
reason for
back.
that though.
But
It's
you
the
watch the
blackout.
Nets games.
I don't watch the Nets in real time, bro. I
You
don't watch
the
them in
Knicks.
real
You don't
time.
have to watch the Knicks in real time. But would you say why you don't watch them? Tell us why you don't watch them before.
Why I don't watch them
Yeah.
before? Because they were horrible.
Sorry, team.
There's nothing to watch. There's nothing to watch. Why am I gonna spend my night watching the Knicks when I
Didn't
can
you
watch
used to-
other
didn't you-
great
but
teams?
didn't you watch
that
the
doesn't mean
Jets
I
be trash?
that doesn't mean it's different. That's totally
What's
different.
the difference?
When you watch Sunday games, they're on CBS. I can watch the Jets very easily.
No, but you knew they were trash.
Yes, but I can watch the Jets. And plus, on Sundays, on a 2 o'clock, when it's the 1 o'clock time frame, what are the teams that we have the choice of watching on Sundays?
That's Giants.
The Giants been sucking for how long? If I'm gonna watch an ass team, I'm gonna watch the Jets because that's my team.
Got a good point.
But if I'm able
point.
to watch the Chiefs at 1:00, are you watching the Jets or Chiefs?
Right now, the Jets.
All right, but we're talking about before.
Dehls would probably watch the Jets.
The
I
Knicks,
can believe Dehls
for one,
watch
the
Jets.
Knicks. I
If we
don't
were
get.
ass, I was not watching.
I
the
don't.
Jets games.
I don't get the Knicks locally. That's why I don't watch them
You don't
because
cable?
it's blacked out.
You want my login,
No,
bro?
I have YouTube TV.
I thought you had cable.
I'll
I
give you my
don't-
login, bro.
I don't watch the Knicks
HMO.
locally. That's why I watch other league pass teams and they're on at the same time.
Okay.
Interesting.
You know, there's
To
a
be
reason I watched it just when they were bad. It's the only thing on
To be
on the
fair, there are multiple facets.
No.
There are
A
ways
plethora.
to watch the
very
Knicks
easily.
without.
Very easily. It's very
TV.
easy.
Whenever I use a streaming site, it after like a couple possessions, it freezes and I have
I'll
to
be
refresh.
honest. We've been watching
you
allegedly
gonna
this
do
game
is
and hasn't froze once.
Hit a quick refresh.
Oh, that's football. For me, it's different.
Oh, it's different
For me, it's
for
different.
basketball.
Lakers
you saying
games
sounds
are
good?
hard to come by prior to.
They're always on
To this
national
AD.
television.
I mean, I was able to catch the Bulls and Knicks game very easily.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Very easily.
the
You were-
Lakers
where
are
you at? I
always
saw you
on
at a
national
spot.
television.
I was at Noches de Colombia.
Oh, Hackensack
Very
one?
good
Lakers
spot.
are
It
on
was my first
national
time
television
Really?
a lot.
Oh, it's
You're
nice.
right.
What'd you get?
And when Knicks
Very
were on
you
playback,
get?
when we saw them Knicks versus the Bulls, I watched it.
Shrimp and
They're on
rice.
national television.
I also have League
Got
Pass,
best?
so now I have a
What is it,
luxury.
Sangria?
No, I didn't drink that.
Oh,
and
I
even
didn't
as a
have it.
Knicks fan, if I get League Pass, I can't
You can't.
watch it.
You can't.
Anyway.
You can't.
So the NBA
lose,
is
lose.
just is fucked. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely was a good spot though.
Yeah, no chase smacks.
But you know, I definitely root for a lot of teams because I got agendas year to year. Last year was Minnesota. This year Minnesota as well. But I also had the Kings thing brewing up, and they've been kinging. They've been getting crowned recently. The Kings have been good.
They're princes right now. They're still working up their
Nah,
way.
they Kings right now. My boy De'Aaron Fox is going
What
crazy.
are they called? Beam City.
Beam.
That's
The Beam
hard.
That is fire.
That's
Yeah.
hard.
And
They
you slept
just
on
made
them.
that up?
You slept on
No,
them.
I didn't
did.
make that up. I didn't make that
Oh.
up.
I did
You
sleep
was
on it.
snoozing.
I was.
You was
I can
snoozing.
admit when I'm wrong. I don't.
You was
I
snoozing.
don't need to jump every 2 weeks.
You was snoozing on them. My boy Kevin Herter showing out.
Yeah, I can admit when
Yes.
I take a comment out. It's okay.
You're early, man.
You're early.
Early for sure.
Hurts.
We've been a year late on the Lakers though. Multiple.
What do you mean by that?
They just keep being. They got worse and worse every time.
Keep
Ever since the
no,
bubble.
keep going, because
They
I
did.
promise you, when the Lakers have a better record than your Warriors at the end of the regular season, you're going to
What
be
do you-
so mad.
what do you want-
You're
you
going to
wanna
be
bet
so.
on that?
How much?
Which one? You have to buy me a Steph jersey,
All right,
and I'll buy you an 80 jersey.
done.
Deal.
I want the city edition though.
I want the city edition too.
Done. Fair.
Fine. Clown.
I'm the clown.
Wait till.
We're better than y'all right now.
Well, because
we're
Steph
better-
isn't playing.
When Steph Curry was on
We
the court,
beat
we
you
were
guys already.
in the first game of the season.
You were defensively. You were great. Then you were
We're
garbage
different now,
offensively.
though. We're
But
different
Steph's injury, the Lakers could beat them in the standings now.
Yeah, but
They
we
could
said end of
pass
the year.
them.
It's the end of the year. We got time.
Steph
January,
coming back?
February,
now.
March.
If y'all are one of the worst teams in the league, Steph might pull a
Y'all
part
are
two. What do you?
Worst team in the league.
Yo, you really start watching Lakers games.
I don't
Start
feel
watching
like
them.
it. I don't
Look,
feel
you
like
just got on Joel for
I'm
not
not a
watching.
Lakers fan.
That has nothing to do with
Not a
anything,
Lakers
though.
fan. You
said
Get
worst team in the
versed.
league.
Get versed.
I was trolling. I'm not. I don't.
You're
I'm not-
casual, man.
You watch Lakers fans. I respect you. You watch
I
your
love
guys.
my Lake show.
Watch
I
your
love
guys.
them. It's must
You're a
watch
Hawks
TV.
fan, right?
I watch Hawks games.
Okay, you watched them last year?
No,
Oh, okay.
everybody knows that though.
Okay, no, because I remember when Kevin Herter first got traded to the Kings, and I said he was a good move for them. Riv was like, "You don't watch Hawks games. I watch them."
But he
and
was
he's
mid.
not.
He was mid last year.
No,
He was
he
mid.
shot 39% from three.
No, he's very efficient, but he was underwhelming as opposed to the year
He's
before.
inconsistent
He's
too.
improved this year.
He was one of their best shooters on the team.
No doubt.
He was very
He's always been a
inconsistent.
good
right
shooter.
now hasn't been shooting the best recently for the Kings.
No,
But
and
would
I-
you say that Kevin Horter was worse last year than he was the year prior?
Yeah, but he's never was bad with the Hawks.
He was inconsistent.
He was
word
disappointed.
is
You thought he would be better
inconsistent.
from the year prior because he was really good, and he just was not.
I gave you your flowers for Herter though. What are you talking about? This year.
No, because you said you watched them last year.
Well, I watched him up until Cam Reddish got traded. That was what I was. I left.
You were
the fuck,
done?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, because DeJounte's there now.
Yeah. Come on. Let's be realistic here.
NBA teams that should sell at the deadline. Now, you guys can feel free to name 1 to 3 teams that should sell at the deadline. I'll start with you, Dehls.
The first team is Riv's team. I'm sorry if I stole your thunder, but the Bulls. I mean, I feel like this is the most obvious choice out of all of them. We've talked about the Bulls, I feel like almost every episode. It's kind of weird because they're a pretty shitty team, honestly. But right now, I mean, the future for the Bulls isn't this core. It's not going to be with DeMar, Zach, and these guys. I think right now you have the opportunity to sell and get draft picks and reset and then lose games to get a high pick in one of the best drafts that we've had over the last few seasons. So if you could be able to trade some of these assets, like there's a ton of Lakers talk with, I mean, every player, but with DeMar, Vooch, Levine, whoever it might be, I think there's a lot of opportunity for the Bulls to get better. That was my main one. Honestly, I didn't have another one. I thought we were just doing one.
It's all right. I can pick
up.
up.
Go ahead.
I can pick
It
up for
says
you.
1 to 3.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's your cash. It didn't matter. That's good.
You did the bare minimum.
I have the Pistons. I feel like Bojan and Sadiq Bey have been heavy in trade talks. We talked about the trade that potentially could go on with the Warriors. We don't see that happening. But Bojan, it seems as if because of the Pistons, without Cade Cunningham, there's nothing really here that the Pistons can look at and think that we can make a play-in run. They're going to be a lottery team. They're going to be a bottom team in the Eastern Conference again, especially with Cade being out for the season. So I firmly expect Bojan and or Sadiq Bey to be traded. Another team I have is the Spurs, because I do think that Jakob Poeltl is going to end up being traded. And lastly, I have the Pacers. Even though you think that Miles Turner's not going to get traded, I think that someone who is in a position that needs a center or needs rim protection, they're going to be interested in Miles Turner. We had conversations on Playback. Speaking of Playback, make sure you guys tune in this upcoming week. We're going to be going live. What game I don't know if we decided on the game yet.
We haven't decided on the game yet, but we'll be going live this week.
But hopefully it's a good game. We've gotten a string of unfortunate events where it's a bad game, but we really would appreciate if you guys would tune in to that. But Miles Turner going to the Nets, that might be the last infinity stone for them.
Last infinity stone.
You add Miles Turner. Miles Turner with Claxton and KD, who already by themselves have been some of the best shot blocking, rim protection in the NBA. You add Miles Turner to that list, who also can extend the floor a little bit. It could get scary for the Nets.
So for me, I have big fat Capitals, Bulls, easily 100%. Definitely so. You got DeMar, who's still playing at an extremely high level. You got Alex Caruso, who can go for something. Then eventually Zach LaVine, he's still 27 years old. He can get you something back. So I think at this point, like John told me, 52%, get that top 4 pick. You make a move on that. Thank you, John, for that info. And you could definitely land one of those top prospects. This is still a really high draft that you could potentially get some things in. And if Portland makes the playoffs, you have their pick also. So that's something good to look forward to. My number 2 team is Washington. Kyle Kuzma has stated that he wants north of $20 million, and he doesn't plan on signing an extension with Washington.
20 mil?
Yes.
That's firm.
20 million. That's I feel like.
Yeah. So I think, and I think right now the way they're looking, Washington. For me, they were never a good team. They have a lot of good players, but Bradley Beal cannot be that guy. He's been hurt too, and Kyle Kuzma's been playing great. Porzingis has been playing great, but they're just not talented enough for me to make a real move. Sorry, playing great, but they're just not talented enough for me to make a move in the East. And then number 3, I have the Jazz low key. Like I have 2 teams in my dark horse, and that's the Jazz. I think they still have a lot of guys that shouldn't be there towards the end of the year. And I know they've been really competitive. They've been playing really good basketball, but I still think they can make a move or two to get some guys to buff up that draft lottery. And then Toronto Raptors. I think Gary Trent Jr., I still think you can move guys to get a center. I think Fred VanVleet should be a guy you should be shopping for. His knee is absolutely cooked. He's not that same player who is. I know he had a good game last game, but I think Toronto should definitely be looking to shop those 2 players, run Scotty at the 1, be prepared for that, get him in a better development.
Scotty looked good last night.
Yeah, Pascal Siakam is still that guy, but you're going to have to pay him and Fred VanVleet soon. I don't think it's ideal to play Fred VanVleet, and Gary Trent Jr. is just another shooting guard that you can easily replace. So I think Toronto should be looking to shop some guys. I know you love
I do like Gary, but I'll say this. Fred is expendable, whatever the word I'm looking for is. Thank you. Because of Sky's ability to play that point forward role for the Raptors. Especially with Fred's knees, if they're going to continue to deteriorate, that becomes a concern. And do you want to pay upwards of $30 million for Fred, especially if you're not sure about his knees? That I don't know about. But Toronto's still in a decent position. They're in a good position.
Think so?
I do. I mean, Pascal is one of the better players in the league. Scotty Barnes still, however you feel about him, I still believe in his potential. He's been really great at home. He's been horrible on the road. But I still believe in this team. OG Anunoby's been injured also, which he's been amazing for them this year defensively. Added a little spark for them offensively also. So
Raptors are 10th seed and they're 13 and 16.
OG's missed a lot of time.
Don't look now. Oh shit! I did not know they were 13 and 16.
Yeah, man, they've been on a huge losing streak.
I think a team that should sell at the deadline is the Knicks. I think they should try to move off from Evan Fournier and Derrick Rose. The veterans on this team that I think they're not getting any minutes. And
No respect for the legends.
And as of recently, Obi Toppin hasn't been playing many minutes either, and I think it's because
he hasn't been playing well.
He's one of the worst finishers at the rim in the NBA. He's one of the worst shooters in the NBA. He's not getting a lot of opportunity, and I frankly think there's better options than him. I wouldn't be opposed to maybe seeing what's the market for him out there. There are no teams in the Western Conference that I view as true sellers. Utah could be one of them, but I am not under the belief that they will be selling at the deadline. And I have the Raptors as sellers. I think the ceiling of this team is limited. We know what they're going to be. It's a first-round exit at best. Gary Trent Jr. is inefficient, inconsistent. Fred VanVleet is okay. He's playing better. I think he's getting healthier.
Yes.
But also, it kind of restricts Scottie from unlocking him as a player because I think he's best developed when he is a point guard player. When he is playing like a point guard, I think the Raptors are just stuck in limbo, and they need to go all in to get one of these top prospects in this upcoming draft instead of just trying to make a play-in appearance. So that would be mine. The Knicks, Raptors, and, of course, the Bulls. We know they need to blow the entire thing up. And I've been saying that for like a month and a half now. They're
Maybe
just
longer
stuck.
than that.
Yeah, they're stuck. They're stuck.
Basically, if you're not making the playoffs, trade your bets. Get picks.
That's
don't
what it's all about.
overcomplicate things, you know?
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Overcomplicate anything.
Especially if you don't have your own pick, you know.
For sure.
You
Which
know.
is
when your GM makes a short-sighted move to trade for Vucevic, and they trade Wendell Carter, who's better than him, and then Franz Wagner was the pick, you know. It's tough.
It hurts. It hurts.
Very, 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 very.
Celtics traded Desmond Bain.
And then they pay Lonzo $20 million, and you know stuff. They try to go all in on a core that's not that good. That happens.
I disagree with that. Lonzo and Caruso, the best defensive backcourt when healthy.
What could have been? Just a
Why
very
did,
small.
none of that moved me.
No, I get it, man.
I like that. Even though the Knicks are,
I always hate when people say dumb shit like that.
What?
even though
Like
the Knicks,
What Joel just said?
No, yeah, like the Laurie and Wendell stuff. Like
Yeah.
it's like they
Oh,
weren't
was
gonna.
that a
they
bad
were-
trade?
They weren't gonna be what they were gonna be now in Chicago. So
Who's
there was,
talking about Laurie?
No, I'm just saying in general. Like I'm not, like people in general. You brought up Wendell. Don't know why. He was always banged up in
He was good with you
Chicago.
guys though when he wasn't hurt.
He was always banged up, and Jim Boylan just fucked the whole shit up. But those
He was
two weren't gonna
double-double.
be. You know what I'm saying?
The
And-
opportunity.
player.
I know what
Yeah,
you're
so it was
saying.
like they had to go. So it's like we didn't really like the Wagner pick. We could have had kept that, but the Wendell stuff and Laurie stuff, they had to go. They wasn't gonna be what they were gonna be in Chicago.
Yeah, because Laurie's not doing this. If Laurie was there, he's not doing this in
They had
Chicago.
to go, bro.
Yeah,
What is
he's
Wendell
playing
though?
with Jordan
Wendell
Clarkson and not DeMar
Wendell is a
DeRozan.
12-9 guy.
He's
He
been
was
hurt for
that
some
in
time
Wendell
this
was
year,
always
though.
hurt in Chicago.
And now he's hurt in Orlando.
Yeah, but
Tatum's out against the Magic.
at least the Knicks. The Knicks when we made the
Ooh,
playoffs
might
2
lose
years
again.
ago, it was. We didn't expect it. You know what I'm saying? We
Oh, no,
we
that's
didn't know
true
we were
enough.
going to be good. Our front office didn't try to go all in and be good. We were just like good out of nowhere. This year it's happening. The same thing's happening. Although Jalen Brunson was a move for us to get better, the Bulls just try to go all in on a core that wasn't that good.
You don't get tired of it?
The Bulls?
No, like making jokes that aren't
Damn
funny.
it.
No,
Yeah, Tatum's
I
out for
don't.
personal
Because you
reasons.
guys let's talk real quick about the Knicks and the Bulls. You guys did what
We're
you
in a
did.
better position, yeah.
Yeah, I guess because you have what sort of kind of young talent in a potential spot that people could say people are going to go there and nobody goes there again. Another offseason of superstars not going to the Knicks again. Then you have draft capital to bring in players that might not develop again. You're going to make the playoffs and be a first round exit. The same as what you called us last year. It's the same thing. You're not going to beat anybody in the first round.
I wasn't expecting a playoff appearance.
But you're never
though.
expecting it. That's the problem with the Knicks. You guys never expect nothing good.
But you expect
never-
it
and
to
it
be,
never
you
happens.
expect it to be good. You guys are not good.
Yeah, but that's okay. You don't expect anything, and it never
I
happens.
feel like
You know,
I
so-
disagree because last year there was expectations and they were bad.
There was.
No.
There were
expectations.
expectations.
Wait for who? Oh, the Knicks.
Knicks.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And what happened? Reality.
Well, for y'all there were expectations.
And look at this season. There really weren't any expectations.
But the
Yeah,
Bulls,
There's still
it's-
a first. Like it's been this.
There,
It's
of course,
It's
yes.
like they
But
say
we
they
had
have
them as
a
a 10 seed.
Yeah, they say they have a. Yeah, we did have them as a playing team. But they say the Knicks fans say they have a bright future. They say they have this bright future.
You had us
this-
as a top 5
this-
young core last year.
Yes, I do. And look at this.
Is that not
core
a bright
now.
future?
Yeah, you do have a bright.
we still
future.
have a
If you
top
still
young
have- but
core,
if you,
though.
if you still have Tibbs, though, it's like where's the core going to lead you? They're playing now, but they weren't playing before.
Do we still have a top young core? Or no.
Top.
top.
Top 5, top 6.
No, I don't think you have
7-ish.
top 5 no more.
Because you don't have a superstar young player. You
Because
don't
now
have a-
we're
you know
pretty
what I mean?
much We
You have a bunch of good
understand the
players.
idea of RJ Barrett. That's pretty much we know what that
Grimes
is.
playing
Better
well.
Obi
than any
Toppin.
of your young players. As much as I'm
Obi.
not a big fan of RJ, he's better than anybody on the
Well, we don't
Bulls.
have a
There you
top
go.
4 pick outside of Pat Will, and he was a stretch. You picked RJ Barrett. He was being frowned upon as the guy to save New York. Pat Will was not being frowned upon to save Chicago. You wanted RJ
You
to
called
save
him
New
Kawhi
York.
2.0.
No. That was the scouting report. You know it was a scouting report. It literally said Kawhi 2.0. Y'all wanted RJ to save New York. It didn't happen.
Yeah, but Julius Randle had a fantastic All-NBA season.
He did.
in
You
New
were
York.
first round exit. You lost the
Yeah.
same amount of games.
And then
as us.
we
Lost
paid,
to the Hawks.
and then
You
we
were
paid,
favorites.
and then we
You
paid
were
Jalen,
favorites.
and then we paid Jalen Brunson,
You
who's
paid
a
Jalen.
great
And you're
point
still a
guard.
first round exit.
One of the
He's a
best
great
free
point
agent
guard.
signings
Yeah,
this
and you're
season.
Yeah, he
still,
is.
and you're still a first round exit.
Yeah, we got to get better for sure. But there wasn't much expectation for this season. The Bulls,
There
it
never-
was
my point is there
Zach
never
LaVine
is.
All-Star, DeMar DeRozan All-Star.
And
DeMar's gonna make an
another
All-Star
thing
game.
I want to say
Respect
too,
DeMar.
because you said as long as Tibbs is there, your development of these players can only be so good. Listen, we can shit talk Tibbs all we want. The Knicks are still playing good basketball.
They are playing good basketball. But he makes these jokes that, oh, you're just a first round exit. So are the Knicks.
Yeah.
That's
No, I
interesting.
said you guys are the most directionless franchise in the league right now.
I don't
Yeah,
think
but if
so.
they trade their guys,
yeah,
in
if we
2 months,
go into
then they have
rebuild,
direction.
We don't know if
direction-
they're going to trade their guys, though.
That's true, though.
Yeah.
It is true.
He's
But,
right.
Well,
but,
we can have this conversation at the trade deadline.
but our rebuild won't be that hard, honestly.
Oh, it won't be. You don't
No.
have your first-round pick this year.
Well, we could get it. We still kind of sort of have it.
You
What's
could.
the- is it protected?
There's a
What is it?
50.
Top four.
top
Listen,
four.
listen, Dehls. It's top
Yeah.
4 projected. There's a 50% chance they get it
Mhm.
only if they're one of the 4 worst teams in the NBA.
The Magic
Which
have it?
means
Yes.
which
The
means
Magic
they
do
have
it.
to be worse than the Pistons,
Magic
than
have
the
it.
Hornets,
Yeah,
Magic
than
have
the
two top 10
Rockets,
picks.
and the Spurs.
Well, we still have a pick, though.
Who
The
is-
Portland's pick.
It's
be-
lottery protected though.
Yeah, they won't be in the lottery. So we'll have like a late pick.
The Bulls have to be one of the 4 worst teams in the NBA. They
Yes.
won't be worse than the Pistons. They won't be worse than the Hornets. They won't be worse than the Spurs or the Rockets. Which
still get
means
it.
that top 4 projected pick is going
Yes,
to Orlando.
you have paid Jalen Brunson, you have Julius Randle.
That
you
was a
paid-
great signing.
You paid
Jalen
RJ
Brunson was a great
no, listen,
signing.
was it? Yes.
It was
you
a great
paid RJ
signing.
Barrett, you paid Julius Randle, you paid Jalen Brunson. You are a first round exit. You will be a first round exit
We have
for a long time.
You know, we have multiple picks in the next couple of years.
I don't know.
You do.
First round
The,
picks.
the Bulls could get into that top 4.
It's
Honestly,
really
they have 2 games on the Rockets and
and
Spurs.
Orlando's climbing.
Yeah, and Orlando's-
like we're right there, bro.
That's
Orlando's
not
10
one of the
wins.
bottom 4 teams, though.
No, but I'm saying Orlando.
The Hornets- yeah,
Orlando
Hornets
is
and
Would you
climbing.
rather be
7 and 8 wins.
Orlando or would you rather be Chicago?
Orlando
Orla-
easily.
easily.
Yeah.
Orlando
Easily.
easily.
Like, it's not a question.
Easily.
Yeah.
They easily, but he acts like they're your first round exit, and
It's all right.
No, I just act
Being a
like the
dead
Bulls
horse.
are what they are.
the Knicks
That's
are
it.
what they are.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But they're
It is
better
what
than
it
people
is.
thought.
Do you think
We're-
you don't
we're
think the
okay.
Knicks are directionless?
I think to a degree they are, but
I
we
think-
have multiple first round picks. I think we have 8 first round picks.
Aren't most
in
of
the
them
next,
protected?
Yes.
No. I'm talking-
kind of heavily protected.
But
look
we
right
have multiple first round picks from multiple teams,
understand that.
including our own. So we can make a trade if we want to. We have flexibility
For
to make
sure,
trades,
but which
and
way
we
are you
have great
going?
contracts on the books too.
I just say directionless in a sense that you don't have any young superstars that are like going to be carrying this team, but you also don't have any current superstars that are going to take you to the playoffs right now. You're just going to be a first round exit until either you guys just go full rebuild or go full in and make a trade.
There is more hope with the Knicks than the Bulls, and I'll tell you why. The Bulls were a team that
No, I
made a
agree,
first.
though.
They made a first round playoff appearance with an aging core. Vucevic is aging. DeMar DeRozan's aging. They have no real young talent on their team. Zach LaVine has knee issues, chronic knee issues. The Knicks, RJ Barrett is under 24 years old. Mitchell Robinson too. Jalen Brunson is one of the better point guards in the league. Julius Randle's there. Quentin Grimes is only
sure.
Quentin Grimes is only in his second year.
So they
and he's playing well.
won't have a first round pick this year.
The Knicks.
Because all their picks, I'm looking at it right now. Hornets pick, they'll have them next year. Hornets, Hawks. Well, maybe not Hawks. They'll probably have the Hawks pick. They're all top 16 protected. So the Knicks next year they would be in a much better spot. They'll have the Spurs pick and the Hornets pick. It will defer to 2024, but the Hawks still probably have.
So you guys are just in a better position to make a superstar level
And
trade.
we own our pick. The Knicks own their pick this
Yes.
upcoming draft.
Yeah.
We have 4 first round picks in 2023.
No, you don't.
Yeah, we do. From the Mavericks, Pistons, and Wizards.
Oh yes. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I didn't go
And then in 2024 we
well,
have
the Mavericks is top 10 protected.
Yeah, but it can potentially be, and the Mavericks, are they
Yeah, you
going to be a
have
top 10 lottery team?
This shit
Probably
is
not.
so confusing. You have a lot of protected picks.
yeah.
Yeah. But we have a lot of assets for the future. We have
Yes,
good
to potentially make a
manageable
trade
contracts.
to get.
That's what the Knicks have. They
It's
have,
not even
they
it's
have
not even potentially make the trade, but you can hit on the draft. We've hit on our late round draft picks. Emmanuel quickly is a
But
hit.
you haven't hit on
Quentin
your-
But
Grimes is a
you
hit.
have to hit on a superstar now, bro.
Yeah,
you
but-
have some good role players.
We
but
have the ability to do that with the picks we have, and we have good
ability
contracts.
to get them. Let's see.
And our team is potentially making the playoffs, and this is a young team.
It is.
So it's Quentin Grimes, RJ,
No, I agree.
Brunson they're young. They're young players. Mitchell, he's a young player.
What's the flag?
Mitch Rob.
He's a young player.
He is.
I thought you meant somebody else.
Now, Rob Williams returned last night versus the Orlando Magic. And I want you to speak on what you saw from his return. You know, how
man.
excited are you?
Yeah, I was missing actually the first half. I was in the gym, but I call it the second half.
He was locked in.
I was locked in. I was very excited for this return. Rob was back. Al Horford was back. We're playing the Magic. I was shit talking the 6-man show a little bit. Didn't really age that well.
Shout out to the guys, man.
Shout out to the guys for sure. They're doing big things. They had a whole pregame sponsored by the Magic. It was really tough. Rob Williams, it was exciting to see him on the court. You know, I think to start off, he definitely looked rusty. He had 3 quick fouls. Some of them, I don't know if I'd exactly agree with the foul calls, but fouls nonetheless. So I think more than anything, seeing him on the court is the most positive sign for the Celtics. But you did see some of that explosiveness there. He had a couple lobs. He had a couple blocks. You saw the athleticism. It didn't look like it left him by any means, which is, you know, the number one thing that is Rob's game is his athleticism, his ability to block shots and be that vertical threat. And I was listening, I think it was the Scalabrini was saying on the Celtics broadcast, it helps Jason Tatum a lot and Jaylen Brown, whoever is, you know, going to be driving to the hoop, because all of this time we've had Al Horford there, Blake Griffin there, Cornette there, not really guys that are a threat around the rim. And then it's much easier to help off that defender to go and help on Jason Tatum or Brown, whoever might be driving with Rob there. If you want to help off him, we're just going to throw lobs all day to Rob. You know, that's what honestly one of the best lob threats in the league. So he did it a couple times. It's going to help the defense, obviously, but I also think it's going to be a boost to the offense. You know, obviously being an upgrade over Blake Griffin at that 5 spot, who started a lot of games for us and honestly hasn't played that terrible. But very exciting to see Rob back out there. I think we were 11th ranked defense coming into
rating,
today. So I do expect that rating to climb for sure. Just got to keep winning games, man. We have had a bit of a lull. You know, 6-4 in our last 10 is a lull for the Celtics, who started off the year winning 80% of their games. I want to say we were 22-6 at one point, or 21-6. We're 21-8 now. So a bit of a lull. We have the Magic back-to-back now. Tatum's going to be out. But I think overall, you just have to be excited for a Celtics fan because he is back out on the court. They said around Christmas time. He came back even a little bit earlier than that. And the Vikings won the game. Came back from 33-0.
Wow.
So yeah, it was exciting to see him back out there. Rob is one of my favorite players, so he's going to be huge. I just want them to be careful with him throughout the rest of the regular season because we need him 100% ready for the playoffs. We saw last year he got injured late in the season. He came back. He was not himself. So I want him to have as many rest days, you know, game management days, load management days as he needs, because once April and May comes around, we're playing Giannis, you know, playing Embiid, these bigs. We need him 100%.
I'm sorry, I was looking at the Knicks lottery picks since 2003. Don't want to deviate from the conversation. I just want to quickly rattle off these names. 2002, Nene. 2003, Mike Sweetney. 2005, Channing Frye. 2008, Danilo Gallinari. 2009, Jordan Hill. 2015, Kristaps Porzingis. 2017, Frank Ntilikina, however you say his last name. 2018, Kevin Knox. 2019, RJ Barrett. 2020, Obi Toppin. Hits.
Not a great track record.
3 hits.
Not a great track record.
To talk about Boston, I just was quickly looking at it and wanted to see if they hit on any one of them. To quickly talk about Boston, Rob Wilback is amazing. It brings the defense up. It definitely gives you that rim protection. And, of course, you guys have been banged up down there at the bigs. Luke Cornette, Blake Griffin is against him. He almost caught a bang out on Zubac, which would have been so nasty. But getting Rob Wilback just to surge this defense, brings this defensive anchor back, brings the guy who puts it all together down low, who gives you that rim protection, that switchable 5, and somebody who's a good passer on the offensive end, and that's always something you need. Like you said, 11th in defensive rating, so I think they climb up with Rob Will. Once he gets back to that full strength, they climb back up to the top 5, top 6, and this is going to be a team that's elite on both ends of the floor, and I think that's huge. I think Rob Will is needed, especially for those matchups down the stretch against Bucks in the playoffs or against Philly or against Miami if they get in, or against the Cavs. You need a guy like Rob Will. I think he would have been huge in those games against Cleveland, both of them, because those would have been playoff atmosphere games. But I think getting Rob Will back is huge. Same way how Middleton came back for the Bucks. You just need that integral piece to your team. Rob Will is an integral piece for that defense, and it's great to have him back.
You bring Rob Will back, this means one thing for the Boston Celtics. Right now, we were talking before the show, the Celtics rank 11th right now in defense. Give it a month. Give it a month, the Celtics will be back into top 3 contention. Rob Will's impact on the defensive side of the court is that impactful. Rob Will's ability to switch onto the perimeter is something that is definitely going to be added to the Celtics defense. His ability to block shots around the rim is also among the best in the league. We're talking about a guy who's all-NBA defensive team. He has the capabilities to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year when he is healthy. He is that great of a defender. And the Celtics really do need that boost. You mentioned it. You add a lob threat to the Celtics. They have a little bit more of a presence down low with Rob Will being into the lineup. But it's going to take some time. He only played, 18 minutes yesterday, something like that. Ease him back in. That's why I say give it a month where he can have his legs underneath him, get into basketball shape. And I firmly believe the Celtics will be back to being one of the best defenses in the league.
I was looking at the Bulls draft history since 2012.
So was I. Oh, you went to 2012?
I wanted to see.
Give us the benefit.
I wanted to see since 2012
Don't
what
be
they
whack.
had.
Go.
I went all the way to 2002.
Yeah, he was being generous. Come on.
No, because they've had some hits. But
Yeah, look,
as
that's
of
why they wanna go
recently, Derrick
That's why they
Rose,
wanna go back.
Joakim Noah, they've had some hits. But as of
Don't
we're
Ben
talking
Gordon.
about recently,
Last
I love how you didn't mention recently. The Knicks
did.
have been hitting on their draft picks.
I
said lottery,
I said
though.
lottery. You only hit on one lottery pick. That was R.J. Barrett. You didn't hit on Toppin. You didn't hit on Kevin Knox. You didn't hit on
Toppin
Frank.
is good when he plays.
You don't Porzingis.
Toppin was a home run miss. A home run miss.
Even RJ is
because
still
you passed
a
on
slightly
Tyrese.
miss.
That was horrible.
Of course. I love Tyrese. I wish he was a Knick. But 2012, they drafted Marcus Teague.
That's not
It's
a
even in the
lottery
league.
pick.
No, I'm just saying the
Look what
first
he's
round
doing.
picks.
Fouled it.
First round picks.
Can you say what pick it was selected at?
29th pick.
Oh, okay.
The Knicks found talent in the second round. Deuce McBride.
See what he's doing.
But I know, but you're missing on the
Agenda
most
pushing.
valuable position.
2013, Tony Snell.
He didn't have a lottery
20th pick.
We were in the playoffs.
2014, they actually traded 2 other picks who became Yusuf Nurkic and Gary Harris for Doug McDermott, who they selected in the lottery. And that's a big-time miss. 2015, Bobby Porter's 22nd pick. Very good pick, but he's better for other teams than he was for the Bulls.
Found the
Still
talent.
good for us.
14th overall pick is select Denzel Valentine.
That was
That's
an
an
order.
L. Yeah, that's a big L.
The coolest thing
16th,
about his career was the Balenciagas that he wore.
Yes.
16th pick, you selected Justin Patton. I don't even know if he's playing right now.
He indeed is.
2018, you selected Wendell Carter Jr., 7th pick, and he's better for the match than he is for you guys.
I thought you said he was
And
the same guy.
2019, the 7th overall pick, Kobe White. It stinks. And then the 4th overall pick in 2020, Patrick Williams. I mean, come on.
Your agenda didn't hit, bro. I'll be honest with you.
And then you just selected Dalen Terry.
At 18, bro.
What do you think is going to be?
Good player. I'll be honest, your agenda didn't hit because your scheme was off, Brody. You're using pick 30.
Yeah, come on. You're being petty with that.
But did Denzel Valentine, Justin Patton, they were top 20 picks.
20 in
Justin
lottery.
Patton was a 16th overall pick. That's right next to the lottery. You can find some good talent there.
All right.
You traded for Doug McDermott. He never did nothing in Chicago.
We talk about Zach Wilson talk too much. We talk about the Bulls and Knicks every fucking show.
Who brings it up? Do I bring it up? I don't bring it up.
I'm just saying the Knicks track record, we got IQ. We got Jericho Sims. He was a late second-round pick. He's very impactful.
Rob was
Deuce
a late pick. Rob
McBride,
was late first.
Quentin Grimes, RJ Barrett. I mean, our regime is
You didn't
hit.
even draft IQ. I'm looking at it right now.
We did draft
You did
him.
not draft IQ.
It's because we had picks and we traded. But we
Traded
didn't.
for IQ.
No. We made the IQ pick. We made the IQ pick. No doubt about it.
Interesting. Agenda didn't hit as much as it did for me.
I'm saying we've
honest.
been hitting
I
on
won
our
that
draft
battle.
picks. We
So-
hit
You
our
hit?
role players.
You hit?
Our role players are our draft picks.
Oh.
We have great role players. We have one of the best benches in the
Obi.
NBA.
He hit?
When he gets minutes, he plays very well. He does.
Kevin Knox?
He's
hit?
I say Obi's more of a hit than Pat
Kevin
Will.
Knox? Kevin Knox?
No, that's a bust. He's a bust.
Oh, okay. Frank?
He's a bust.
Oh.
He's a bust. That's not our current regime, though.
No, it's just interesting. You know, Damian Dotson, is he playing anymore?
NFL history. It's fucking crazy.
It's all right, bro. We got Damian Ongjin Jaramas. I don't know. You picked him.
Damian Dotson has some good time. Has some good moments.
Jesus
with the Knicks.
Christ. You picked Thanius. You picked Giannis's brother. The wrong guy.
Damian Dotson used to have some good moments with the Knicks, though. Dotson.
Judd has made Stephon Gilmore look like a fool.
Talk about your Claxton Rob Will thing.
Yeah, I know you want to get into it.
Rob Will, I thought in his minutes was exceptional. 9 points, 5 rebounds. The way he was closing out off of shots, I thought was amazing. There was one in the corner to Terrence Ross where he just closed out and he made that such a difficult shot. First play of the game was a lob to him. Then the next play, it was a deflected pass on a defensive end. I mean, Rob Will is going to make it a big impact for the Celtics defense. There's no doubt about it. I do think that offensively it will hurt this historic offensive rating Celtics a bit, just because the spacing is not going to be what it was with him in the lineup.
We'll have 4 shooters instead of 5.
You'll have 5 shooters instead now 4.
That's what. Yeah, I'm saying well 4 shooters now instead of 5.
That is a big part of it because the Celtics were red hot from 3, 40%.
Yeah, we've cooled down a ton.
First
the last
23
weeks,
games, but now they have come back to earth because we understand that is not sustainable. And
real quick, neither is this level of shooting. We're shooting like 30%.
And Sam Hauser, last 9 games, he shot 24% from 3. The Celtics versus the Magic shot 23% from 3.
Exactly.
They were 5 for 27 on wide open threes. Very 2018 Houston Rockets like.
Except
right?
this is a regular
They're missing a lot of
Magic,
threes.
so
and listen, Rob Will does a lot for the Celtics. I think the Celtics have been playing poorly. As of recently, they lost 3 of the last 4 games. If it's not for a comeback versus the Lakers, they would have been worse.
Okay, but we beat
there,
them.
there are some concerns about the Celtics that I have. That I do, Dehls. I know you don't want to hear it because everything's sunshine and rainbows in the state of Boston. But listen, Jaylen Brown's off-ball defense is not very good. He ball watches.
His defense has come down.
He ball watches. He lets a lot of people cut right past him. If you want to be an All-NBA player, you don't let that happen.
His on-ball defense too has been as good as last year.
Celtics last 5 games.
Because he's scoring more. Yes.
Celtics last 5 games, they've shot 31% from 3 compared to 40% in the first 23 games. I think that number will meet around the middle. And also, I want to highlight this point about the Celtics. Jaylen Brown, again, he's too loose with the basketball. His handle is not the best. He had 7 turnovers versus the Magic. 4 of them were stolen from him.
Yeah.
Mo Wagner stole the ball from Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown this year is averaging 3.6 assists with 3 turnovers this year. I think there is...
What have I been saying?
What have you been saying?
What has Jaylen Brown realistically got better at other than just scoring at a higher pace?
Scoring more.
He's still loose.
His game,
with the ball.
He has not.
He still is not a playmaker. Like,
when he drives, he just looks down.
I know it sounds disrespectful, but he hasn't realistically gotten better at parts he needed to get better.
His numbers have gotten better, but his game is.
When I look at championship teams,
yes,
God, we're in the fucking finals.
Championship teams, when it comes to the biggest test of their season, they answer the call. They pick it up.
Wait, hold on. I think that's what he's about to talk about. Let him finish, please.
I saw Golden State when I was, I was getting prepared for that game, watching. I was on my couch. I told myself this: if the Celtics are a real finals team that's going to win a championship, they're going to show the entire world that they're going to kick the Warriors' ass because the Warriors have been struggling.
We were home.
And what happened? I mean, Draymond starts off on Jaylen Brown. He's forcing Jaylen Brown left, making him uncomfortable. Jason Tatum come on, Jason Tatum. He's Tom. He wasn't making shots.
Let's be honest. In the regular season of the last few years, the Celtics have dominated the Warriors.
Not last year. We split. Relax.
Okay, the couple of years before that, we have over these last 3 years in the regular season, the Celtics have beat the Warriors more often than not.
Steph Curry missed a year.
Just because you win we were beating the Warriors in the regular season and didn't reach the finals.
There's a difference. You're coming off. This is the first game coming off the finals. Yeah, where Tatum made a stinker.
It wasn't a team. The Tatum had to play better.
No, Tatum had to have a 40-point game.
He could not look the same.
Nah, this is my championship. This is my championship.
We don't have to worry about the Warriors, though. They're not going to the finals.
I know. You're going to worry about the Nets. You're worried about the Brooklyn Nets.
And we know what happened when Tatum played the Nets.
The Nets
what happened when Tatum played the Nets?
The Nets are creeping up.
What happened when Tatum played the Nets? Locked up KD, had him in hell?
The Milwaukee Bucks are getting healthier. Oh, they're getting healthier. Chris Middleton, my guy.
They lost to the Rockets.
Who lost to the Rockets?
The Bucks.
I'm not worried about that.
Okay.
You want to know why? They got a championship. They got jewelry.
For sure.
Celtics don't got jewelry.
But this is why, I don't overreact to December basketball.
This version of the Celtics don't have jewelry.
Oh yeah, I was like,
December basketball is December basketball. The Bucks are going to lose to the Rockets. We're going to go on a stretch where we go 6-4 over our last 10 games.
I think Jaylen Brown turning the ball over, off-ball defense.
He did it all of last year. He went to the finals.
I think it's a problem though.
But he did it last year. He went to the finals.
He's a better scorer.
I think I 100% agree. I said his biggest thing he had to work on this offseason was his ball handling when he's driving to the rim to be able to not just stare at the defender or the ground. He hasn't improved on that. But he wasn't great last year, and we still went to the finals. And he's scoring more now.
The East is better now, man.
Because the Nets.
The Nets are better. The Bucks are healthy. Philly is coming.
Okay, I'm not worried about Philly.
James Harden, I just read his profile, his article. Cavs, James Harden's been working out all offseason. He's dedicated right now.
It's December. What do you mean he's been working out? It's December.
No, I read the article. He said this offseason.
Last offseason.
He stopped partying. He stopped answering calls from rappers. He was locked in.
Happy for him.
He was locked in.
Yeah.
And Tyrese Maxey's coming back. He's locked in.
Took a while.
I'm just saying the Celtics, Rob Will is huge. Getting him back is huge.
Your biggest. So the reason why the Celtics won't make the finals is because they lost to the Warriors in the December regular season game, and because Jaylen Brown turns the ball over.
Wiggins did not play.
The reason why
we didn't have Al or Rob.
I need my Canadian back, man.
I don't care whichever way you look at it.
We started
beating
Blake
Golden,
Griffin.
Not beating
Rob
Golden
Will's gonna get
State.
cooked either way, though.
Not beating Golden State. I thought that was.
Y'all played drop coverage again.
The Celtics should have been awake for that game. The Celtics should have. Jason Tatum should have played better that game.
Griffin.
It should have been better.
We started Blake Griffin, bro.
Should have been better. What can I say? Should have been
started Blake Griffin.
It should have been
You're
better.
just trolling right now.
Jason Tatum should have played better.
I agree. Tatum should have
been
played better.
Should have been better.
Do you think he made up for it that Lakers game, dropping 44 game tying shot over
was
LeBron
amazing.
to go over in overtime?
I thought his bounce back versus a playing team was warranted. You know?
Is that still not a big game? Back to back West Coast to close out the series, to close out the West
LeBron,
Coast trip.
It's always a big game.
Come on.
Jason Tatum is phenomenal.
The Lakers had
LeBron
and AD play every minute in the second half in overtime.
Tatum
barely beat him.
And we beat. They had to play AD and LeBron every single minute.
And we barely beat them.
And we beat them.
LeBron was killing him too.
It's not barely a W.
Not a lot of teams that you face are gonna have that little.
You guys barely beat the
LeBron
Bulls.
Can own Tatum can own
the Knicks.
Yeah.
Oh, who cares? The Bulls suck.
He averages 38, bro.
Huh?
Tatum averages 38 on LeBron.
No way.
In the last 6 meetings, yes, he averages 38 points.
I believe that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
He's playing Lakers. He's playing his boy, you know, Kobe.
I don't know. I just flashed back to I was watching The Malice of the Palace on Netflix, and I flashed back to this because this what I'm gonna say. The Pacers were a team that they wanted to go to the championship. They had lost to the Pistons in the playoffs, and they viewed the next regular season matchup as a game to show them that they're a championship team and they're better. The Pacers mopped the floor with Detroit. It was a statement game. That was supposed to be a statement game, and they didn't make no statements.
Then Detroit still beat them.
If this was
it
listen,
says they
Joel,
got for the year. Ron Artest got suspended.
yeah.
What
and stuff
happens?
like that.
What happens Christmas Day? We play Milwaukee. That's a pretty big game.
That's a statement game too.
Yeah.
That
What
is-
happens
that
if
is,
we win
of
that
course, a
game? Are we
statement
gonna just be like, okay?
If you win that game, I'll give you credit. But guess what? You won't win that game.
Why? Because you just got to say it to push your agenda.
Nah, because Giannis
you're disgusting.
Giannis is that guy.
Because you're gross.
Because Chris Middleton is that guy. That's why.
But Middleton gives us buckets. You just could write it in. He just always kills us.
That boy was dog shit
nah,
against Memphis.
Yeah, he struggled. I mean, they lost by 40.
They was them 70.
But if they answer the call December and they
Bucks
win,
will answer the call.
Listen,
not only 70.
Not only is that a great.
Rockets.
Not only is that going to be a
we're
great.
stressing over a Warriors loss against the best home team in the NBA.
Not only is that going to be a great gift for you if they win Christmas Day
That's
versus
all I
the
want.
Bucks. I got the Milwaukee Bucks, baby.
I know
That's
you
who I
do.
got.
Oh, you got the Bucks, the Nets, the Sixers,
I don't have the Sixers.
the Knicks.
I have the Nets and the Bucks.
You do have the Sixers.
No, I don't.
I
I never said I had the Sixers. I said they're a formidable opponent.
You walked into this year banking on Sixers.
You
Yeah,
had them
there's
as
a
the
lot
one
of
seed,
things that
didn't
got to go right with them, though.
You had them as the one seed. I want to say.
I did have them as a one seed.
Word.
Yeah.
Sixers.
When healthy, they could give the Celtics a run for their money. No doubt.
my god.
They can. They can. Nobody's guarding Joel Embiid.
The Celtics
guarding Tatum?
own Philly.
Matisse
PJ
Thybulle.
Tucker. Oh,
PJ Tucker. Don't sleep.
Matisse Thybull's going to get minutes?
He gets minutes right now.
He
Didn't
shouldn't.
score.
Why not?
I'm happy playing 4 and 5 on defense. With this defense, we get to play 4 and 5. I'll take that.
I love
James Harden,
I love
back to
Maxey,
what he
but
does.
James
Play
Harden-
4
James
and 5
Harden's
all
in.
day.
Sure, we got defenders.
I love Maxey, but that's
All
a
I'm
tough
saying,
challenge
Dehls,
for the
is
Sixers, man.
You lost 3 of your last 4, man.
Oh no, season's crumbling.
What's the favorite saying? You're only as good as your last.
Yeah, Lost
And
to
you
the
haven't
Magic.
been-
Hey,
you
Magic,
haven't been
Magic
good.
up and coming.
Yeah, let's talk about the Magic. So to wrap up the show, let's talk about the Magic, and we have to have the 6-man show on.
Sure.
in the
Should have
near
had him on
future.
for this one.
We should have.
I feel like we shouldn't talk about him unless the 6-man's here.
That's respectable.
We could talk about him. Just kidding.
The Magic are on a 5-game win streak, and there's a lot of things to talk about this team. I think Franz's elevated play
Absolutely.
has now made everybody question their analysis of him and how great of a player he can be now. What's his ceiling as a player? Markelle Fultz returning, giving them a steady point guard. Paolo's historic rookie season. There's a lot of things to touch on. The first one, let's touch on this 5-game win streak. Why have they been so good?
So, very, very simply,
Bro, why'd you let there be dead air?
that's not on me. Riv usually goes first.
Come on, man.
You literally went first.
I hate
like
the
3
dead air,
segments
bro.
ago.
I picked it up, though, because you could have
Dead
picked it
air.
up, but I did.
You went first 3
I
segments ago.
usually don't go first.
Now I'm going
That's all
first
right.
because I'm
I
back.
almost never
go.
go
to
first,
talk about
actually.
to talk about
You want me to go first?
let's talk about Orlando, the Orlando Magic. You mentioned it, Wagner.
Why are you talking so low?
Wagner's been
Sounds
amazing.
sexy.
He bulked up 6'10". We were wrong about Wagner
No one
and
comes back
Barnes. We were extremely wrong.
It's still early.
Oh, really?
Oh, for
Things
Franz?
early?
He's been
No, I'm
balling.
just saying, like it's early to just say like that's not. Scotty can't be better than Franz.
No, I think we were wrong about taking Scotty over Wagner and Suggs. I think that's
Suggs
dead.
doesn't play too well with the lineup.
Yeah, but I still think
Markelle's a better
that's
fit.
that's kind of dead. But two players over one is one player over two is crazy. But just Boncaro, Bobo being great, and now he's getting the burn. He has a highlight every single game he plays. He's been amazing. Markelle Fultz getting that productivity at the point guard position. That's what they've been needing. They've been needing good guard play, consistent guard play, and I think Fultz has been that. Cole Anthony was great against the Celtics, doing wiggle, showing his bag of
He was
tricks.
cooking Tatum.
A lot of guards be cooking Tatum. But Moncaro's still been the heart and soul of this team. He's still been the number one guy. Probably one of the best rookies we've seen in a while, since maybe Zion, Blake Griffin at that position. So I think he's been great. His bag of tricks, his ability to fool the refs and get to the free throw line at a young age is nuts. I think this team, Orlando, they just play hard. And when you play hard at this level at that young age, that's something that can get you wins, even if you're not the most talented, which I think they have a lot of talent and they have a lot of youth under their development. Plus, they have a lot of draft capital. This team is, and I tweeted it yesterday, the Pistons, the Pacers, Cleveland to a degree, they're going to run the East for a long time down the road. They just have so much young talent and so much cohesiveness together that it's hard to count these teams out. There is no easy game in the league at this point. Every team is competitive. Every team fights hard every night, maybe except the Hornets. They're probably really, really bad. But for the most part, you can't count LaMelo out, so, I give him that credit. But Moncaro's been amazing. Shout out to Bobo, Markelle Fultz, Wagner when he plays. Even his brother has been good in his last couple game stretches. They've been really good. And even when Okiki gets his little minutes, he comes in, he's been good. This team is just really good. They play hard. They play hard under Mosley. So shout out to them. Shout out to Orlando. Shout out to 6-man squad.
So what's been very interesting about the Magic is you spoke about a lot about Wagner, and I'll say this. Let's take it easy. I'm with Joel. Scotty can still be better than Franz, but right now it's not a question. Franz is definitely having the better sophomore season. They put some statistics together about the best finishers and the best three-point shooters in the league. Franz is among the best finishers in the league, and that's in a conversation where Zion's in a class of his own. You have Giannis, you have guys like Luka, SGA, and then right underneath those guys is Franz Wagner. He has been elite at finishing at the basket on top of his ability to shoot the long ball. He's given the Magic a spark where obviously you look at Paolo Banchero and he is the guy that fans will come in and say that he is the one that's going to change the landscape of the organization. But that is not without giving credit to Franz Wagner and his ability on the basketball court. Offensively, he is a great player. On his way to being an elite offensive talent, he is that good at finishing at the basket. But let's credit Markelle Fultz also, because he's had to have, where I'm looking at Franz, who's had a lot of responsibility of handling the basketball. What they really missed was a point guard. Now Markelle comes in and really starts to ignite this offense. Now we can get Paolo in different spots. We can get Wagner into his spots. So things are definitely going to be super interesting with the Magic. They've had some really good wins, beating the Raptors twice, beating the Celtics, obviously. And Cole Anthony did have a really great game against the Celtics, was hitting some tough shots, taking jumpers that he probably shouldn't have, but hey, they're going in, so why not? But Orlando Magic have one of the brightest futures, if not the brightest futures, of teams right now that are not in the playoffs.
You want to go? Sorry.
Yeah, sure.
I saw you.
Well, when I look at the Magic, I just think they've been missing point guard play all year.
Absolutely.
They've been injured all season long, and Markelle Fultz more than Jalen Suggs is more pivotal for the Magic because he's a better playmaker. You see the difference in the pace that they play with when Markelle Fultz is playing. He's a steady playmaker. He's hitting his open threes, and he's playing very good defense. I think one play that stood out to me versus Boston was in the very beginning of the game. He runs all the way back to defense, and he steals the ball, and he sets something up in offense in transition. So him being healthy, I think, is what's really been the difference for the Magic this year. But Franz Wagner in this 5-game win streak is averaging 25 points per game. Franz Wagner, he was somebody out of college that I viewed as a Swiss Army knife. He can do everything good, but there's nothing great. And Michigan kind of limited him in that way. In the NBA, it's clear that he has the potential to be a multiple-time All-Star. He's one of the better small forwards in the NBA already. And him and Paolo are not too far in the future going to be leading the best wing duo in basketball. Paolo's having a historic rookie season up there with all-time greats. And Franz Wagner's brother, Mo Wagner, has been a revelation for them at the center spot. I think this spaced-out lineup has really helped them. You have Wagner and Bull at the center and forward spots. They can space the floor. Wagner is also very good at attacking the basket. He's a physical and aggressive player, and that just opens up more driving lanes for Franz and Paolo. And then you have Cole off the bench, which is a perfect role for him. Just come off the bench and get buckets. He plays that role to a T. The Magic look really good right now, and I don't think it's crazy to say that they could probably make a push for one of those last play-in spots with how good they're playing. Defensively, they're very good, and offensively, they're picking up their groove right now. The Magic look like a very good team right now. I think they'll finish around like the 11th seed, but there's definitely potential for them to surprise some people.
Yeah, they're only a couple games out of the 10th seed.
The Pacers could fall out however you feel about the Raptors. I think if they get healthy, they'll be back into playoff contention. But it's not crazy to say the Magic can finish higher than the Wizards. And if the Bulls are going to continue to play like this, they're probably going to shout their guys. It's not crazy to say that the Magic could leapfrog them also. It's not crazy to say they could be the 10th seed.
It's not. And I feel like more than anything, this is a Magic team that just has nothing to lose, right? No one was expecting them to do anything. If they make a play-in, that's going to be a massive win for them. So having all of these young guys really just all trying to prove something, all collectively trying to show the league that they belong. I mean, who's the vet on this team? Terrence Ross? Like that? Kerry Harris. Yeah, I mean, even still, though, like this is just all young guys coming together and really trying to, prove where they belong and that this Orlando Magic team can make a push when you have someone like Paolo, number 1 overall pick, probably going to be Rookie of the Year, who looks like a foundational piece, and you have some really good pieces around him. Mo Wagner had a former Celtic, I think I don't know if he ever played for us, but I think we drafted him or traded for him on draft night, something like that. So, of course, he had to drop 25 points on us. But then Bull had a breakout season this year. Cole Anthony, like you said, Drew, he was hitting tough shots. I feel like the entire Magic team were hitting tough shots all night against us. But it's an exciting team if you're a Magic fan. I mean, there's a lot of good young cores in the NBA, but this is right up there with them. When you have Paolo leading this bunch with Franz taking a leap this season, and Fultz is still young, and Bull, if you think he could continue this, improving year to year, it's a very exciting team.
I agree. Now, we have some super chats here that I'd like to read. We do these at the end of the show. This from Aramis Jones. He donated $49.99. Shout out to him. I hear most people talk about Zion, so I want to give B.I. some light. Where do y'all think B.I. stacks in comparison to Paul George and other small forwards of the league? Where do y'all see his trajectory being that he's only 25?
I mean, he has a top 20 ceiling, of course. I mean, his ability to score the basketball. It's been unfortunate that this year, we spoke about it earlier, he's just not been able to remain healthy consistently. He gets on the court. He had a concussion early on. He comes in. Now he's missing some time with a lower leg injury. It's just been unfortunate for him thus far, but last year he showed what he can be. Averaged 27. He was unbelievable in the playoffs. I think that when he's at his best, his ceiling is definitely top 20, potentially even top 15.
I think it's hard to gauge this year because he's been in and out of the lineup, and this is him and Zion's first time fully together. So I think it's a wait and see. I think he's the firm number 2 on the team. Though Zion is the number 1, but at his best, he's definitely if he can definitely walk himself into that top 7, top 6 wings in the NBA, especially with the old guys.
That's already a fact.
Yeah, I think with the old guys, Paul George, Kawhi getting older, LeBron getting older, Kevin Durant, even though he's a 4, you can consider him a wing also. They're getting up there in age. B.I. is definitely next up. It's just with him being healthy, being able to put himself in the mix, him and Zion being able to play together. But once he can do that, he has top 15, top 20 ceiling, definitely.
I think where he is now is where he's going to be for the most part. I don't see him climbing up too much higher in the rankings. Now, next one, he has a part 2. Y'all didn't like the last question when I asked y'all thoughts on the B.I. Zion potential of being the next Kobe and Shaq-esque duo. So hopefully this question is less humorous. Love the show. Bless. All right. Now, this is from a Big O. Little love for the live. Let's get it. Not a question, statement. Shout out to Big O.
Big O, a legend. Pick a side legend.
This is from Santos Lopez.
I'll go.
Drew, you talk a lot of shit on Tuesday about my Warriors, but your Lakers couldn't beat the Celtics. I'm very excited to receive my hoodie.
Lakers couldn't beat the Celtics.
But I'll at least
you said on the playback.
I'll at least give you $50 because it was a close game with the Celtics.
You said that?
Appreciate that. Yeah, on the playback, he said he'd donate if the Celtics win, and he would say
he's just got to send me my. He's got to send me his information.
Address, yeah.
Tough.
Get him a pick side hoodie.
You bet on us, bro?
No, I bet on the Lakers.
The Lakers Celtics game.
That's a good bet. You almost won.
This is from Muffins.
Sound like him.
Y'all know the vibes. I don't watch NBA anymore.
Shout out Muffins.
The GOAT got his 4th ring, but I blame the Jets for how the Browns season went.
Okay.
This is from Blake Bass. Found you guys through TikTok. Been watching your content ever since. Keep up the good work.
Appreciate that.
Shout out to him.
This is from Santos Lopez. He says, "Let me get on the bet too!" Exclamation points.
He was talking about Lakers and Warriors.
That makes sense.
Regular season record?
Yeah.
He can get on it when he got to talk.
He's already a pick a side legend. We'll talk.
And now Santos, his last donation, he says, "Guys, let's get the stream to 250 likes. So make sure you guys hit that like button for us. We're at 187 right now." And that's going to do it for this episode of the Pick a Side Podcast, episode 238. You can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Pick a Side Podcast, on Twitter at Pick a Side Pod. Thank you guys for listening and or watching.